Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. You already know what it is. We back with another one of them things, man. You already know what it is. And we have some updates from the last time we sat down and politicked with the people. You know, some workouts have been completed. We've had some updates. You know, everything is in line on how we reported it through over the week. You know, everything is coming to pass. Now reports are coming out on Mr. Scoot Henderson. We're going to get all into everything. If you want more news, updates, and more involving these Charlotte Hornets, Lamelo Ball, MB1, the one of one, and, you know, the whole nine. Listen, things about to get seriously picked up, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of what's happening with Lamelo Ball, what's happening with Zion, what's happening with this NBA draft. This draft is steamrolling, moving very quickly at an accelerated pace, you know, and who knows what the Hornets are going to do. But with a week away, you're starting to see rumblings and you're hearing things of movement. You know, all of these reports are not happening. Somebody's leaking news or some sort of information. But as I dived into the reports and I continue to look at it more and more and deeper, everything is in line with what I was stating with Scoot Henderson, you know, his possible movement. You know, I stated all along that Scoot Henderson wants to go number 2 overall. I don't think he is going to complain about. He's going to say all the right things. I don't think he have a problem with playing with Lamelo, but I mean, he's like an undersized guard at the end of the day. Does he really want to play off ball? You know, I'm just posing that question. You know, so I thought that Scoot Henderson would get drafted and then possibly from there, you know, with his agent, you know, maneuver some things and get the best possible outcome for himself, you know. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It's just this really doesn't you know, make a lick of sense how we got to this point. Salute to my man Ball Facts in the building. Shout out to the legendary Ball Facts. I already know it's about to be an epic ride. You know, salute to you and all the Ball family content you've been posting. You know, if you want all your exclusive Triple B content, make sure you tune in to Ball Facts. You already know. But back to what I was saying, you know, this is just a serious situation for these Charlotte Hornets, man. And I told everybody I had no marriage, you know, to none of these young players. And like, I'm just so happy, you know, that the Hornets are discussing winning. All of these things we hearing. I mean, seriously, before we look at it at the end, when it's all said and done, the Hornets could look scary next year if they play all of the cards right. It could be a complete disaster if they just fumble the bag, miss all the opportunities, and continue to look just idiotic like they've just looked over the years, you know. But with Lamelo Ball, MB1, the one of one, he has accelerated the rate and the pace of this franchise in terms of what they need to do. You know, it's winning time, baby. They don't have a lot of time. You can't play games right about now. You got a young, you know, just emerging, you know, in their eyes, a superstar, you know, and they know he's coming up on the books. And when they get in that negotiation room, What's on the court? What's the player personnel? What's that look? They're gonna have to come with some substance. You understand? You can't just come to the table with PJ Washington. I know they're great friends, but when you look around the league, people pairing up, people about to get moved around. You see what's going on in Washington. Who the hell gonna get Bradley Beal? Somebody's about to get paired up with another superstar. It's about to get spooky. And I'm hearing that it's going to happen in the Eastern Conference. So there you got all of this going down. Charlotte got to do something. There's no way you can roll out with this roster. I'm telling you, that playing scenario is going to be fully loaded, in terms of competitiveness and scratching and clawing to get in. Ain't shit promised for none of them. You understand? And not for Charlotte either. I know Miles is possibly coming back. Who knows if that's enough? They have this number 2 overall pick. The draft starts with Charlotte. They must play their cards right. What are they going to do? I hope they make the right decision. And if they bring in Zion Williamson, I would applaud the move, because they went for the gusto. They went for all of the marbles. Who's to say any of these two guys, are going to be amount to what Zion Williamson could be if he's healthy? You understand? This is high risk, high reward, y'all. You talking about pairing 2 generational talents, LaMelo Ball and Zion Williamson. Could you imagine what that's going to look like on the balance? That's something that you can't pass up. I understand Scoot. I understand Brandon Miller, but sometimes you got to roll the dice. You understand? I like it's about to get risky. In my opinion, I would do it. If I was up there, just in my humble opinion. But at the end of the day, Charlotte got to make their decision. But Scoot Henderson, we told you that he was going to have his workout on Sunday, and it has been completed. And from all accounts of what's happened with the workout is that he thoroughly impressed. Still, reports are saying that Brandon Miller, due to the fit, is still going to be in play for that number 2 overall pick. But you got about 3, 4, 5 different reports running at the same time. So what report to believe? Do you believe the report that Scoot Henderson thoroughly impressed the Charlotte Hornets in their workout? Do you believe the report that Brandon Miller is going number 2 no matter what? Or do you believe the report that they're going to trade this goddamn pick and go get a real superstar and bring him to Charlotte? So, I mean, time going to tell. We only got a week, couple more days. I think it's going to get clearer and clearer and clearer, because something can go down right now for all we know. I'm telling you, we can hear something agreed in principle. Wojnarowski, these dudes, they start leaking stuff. It's crazy, but it is what it is at the end of the day. This is being reported from ESPN's Jonathan Giovanni. He had put this out, basically that even though that Miller is still number 2, Scoot Henderson just rose his standing with the Charlotte Hornets. He worked out in front of the coaching staff and the entire front office, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, everybody came out, Kupchak, all these dudes were there, with their eyes, 20/20 vision, and like I said, hopefully they make the right call. They get the first look at all of these guys. So if Charlotte blows this, they ought to be ashamed of themselves, man. It's Flight Sports TV, man. I got my man Phonics in the building. Phonics, what's good?
What's poppin', B? Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm listening to everything. I'm just not believing you. You need more people, man. Charlotte is gonna be where they have been for the past several years. They're not on the brink of anything. They have little to no talent that they can muscle together. The dudes they have are pretty good, but they just can't get them to play cohesively.
Right.
I don't think a draft pick is the answer, though.
Right.
Right.
I know. I want before you go on the tangent, Phonics. I want to just keep it directed on this pick right here. The Charlotte Hornets own the 2nd overall pick, right? So you're hearing all of these rumors with Zion Williamson, Scoot Henderson. They are being reported. This was reported today that teams view him as a Derrick Rose like play. He getting compared to, and I was the one saying that. I know people don't. I know homage is hard to come around, but Do your homework. We got a list of catalog. I was telling the people that Scoot Henderson, could be a Derrick Rose level player. Now they're saying that the New Orleans Pelicans got this dude highly on they want him. The Pelicans want Scoot. So talk to me about this three-way tornado. Pause on what's going down with the news and these reports.
Zion got a lot of issues going on right now, currently in the media. And yo, what's better than the next youngest player up who's cheap? We ain't gotta pay him nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know too much about Scoot. You know what I'm saying? But what I do know is, if I was New Orleans, Zion hasn't produced in years now, because years means over 1 year. He hasn't produced. I would look for options to get rid of him. If you said this young man Scoot is the truth, that's true. Now, okay. So now you talking about
He averaged 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. For the G League Ignite. So he's coming
that's
off
right.
that.
That's
That's
who
a
he was
stat
with.
line.
Yeah, that's right. That's who he was with. I forgot.
Salute to my
He
man
went to the
Spike in the
Cowboys.
building too. It's Flight Sports. I didn't mean to mute you. That was a mistake. Salute to my man Spike.
Nah, you good, Flight. I'm just in here listening, brother. Appreciate the platform, my man.
You good? You're good, Phonics.
Now, yo, Melo needs some help, man. Melo is a talented young player, man. And yo, we got to get Terry out of there. I think Terry has to go. We don't need him as a guard. He has to go. Um, we had to focus more on guard play. They need a real center out there. And I think they'll be competitive, man. But, Flight, let me ask you a question. We heard at the beginning of the season Jordan was falling back. Has he officially done that? Because I haven't heard that was confirmation.
No, that all that news been on ice, ever since it was
Wow.
reported. So
Wow.
with this looming, who knows what Michael is trying to do? I just hope they do the right thing. And if they got the opportunity to
Wow.
get their hands on Zion Williamson, they better do it. Goddamn it, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but what you do with Miles Bridges? You
Listen,
know
we
what I'm
worry
saying?
about all that after we get him on the roster. I mean, it's time to start winning.
No,
So
you're right, but you just made a good point to me. I asked you what happened to Jordan, and he's still there. He's the problem. He's the cancer, so to speak. He ain't going, bro. He's still living. What do we do with that? He's still in the building, and he's still effing up stuff. What do we do with that? LaMelo, what do we do with that, LaMelo? You know you want that dude gone. What do we do with this? Hmm?
listen, man. You mean I want Lamelo out of Charlotte?
No, I mean LaMelo wants Jordan out of Charlotte, not you.
Well,
LaMelo wants Jordan out of Charlotte. He's tired of BS. He want to win.
We haven't heard. Well, like I said, those reports haven't came out yet. But one could argue. I mean, when he went up to that podium and they asked him about his long-term future in Charlotte, this isn't the exit meetings. In the press conference, he said he plays about a day. So that don't sound like a dude that's so confident within the front office. And I'm happy that he did that. See what's going on. You hearing all these. When the last time we heard Charlotte trying to do something? So it was about time.
But let me be honest with you.
Asset too. This is an incredible asset, either the draft or the trade.
Flat, let me be honest with you and your listeners. New Orleans is not getting rid of Zion. They fought with him through all these injuries. Hold on. They fought with him through all these injuries and all that time off and all this pressure on him now. You don't think he has to come back and perform and they want to get some of their money back? Yes, they do, sir. Yes, they do. He's not going anywhere. Mark my words. But go ahead.
All right, we're gonna find out. Listen, we got my man Spike in the building. We got Purple Baby. Spike, what's your thoughts on this situation? What's going on with the reports with Melo? Obviously, if you've been listening, break some things down to what you heard. Give us your insight.
Yeah, man. What up, Flight? What up to the audience? Hey, what up to the
What's
panel?
good, bro? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Just getting off of work. I've been paying attention to this situation closely. Pretty much like the last 2 days. I think I heard before it was Zion rumored, it was rumored that they were going to offer Brandon Ingram for the number 2 pick. And at that point, as you know, as a LaMelo fan, I was wondering what that would be like with LaMelo and Brandon Ingram. And I like the idea of it. Yeah. I like the idea of it. I like the idea. I think Brandon Ingram is a proven scorer at this point of his career. We saw how he looked in the playoffs last year versus the Suns. They were shorthanded, but he played extremely well. He looked like he had that dog in him, so that was good to see. But obviously, you still wonder. Well, if I got the number 2 pick, and I could draft Scoot Henderson or Brandon Miller, is that a better situation than drafting Brandon Ingram, because I can get a little better fit, because Miles is supposed to be coming back and him and Brandon Ingram are essentially playing the same position. So I started fantasizing and tantalizing with the idea of Scoot, and I think Scoot is the pick if New Orleans is gonna make. I mean, if Charlotte is gonna make the pick. Scoot Henderson has a skill set that can come into the league right now and make an impact. He has the physicality and the athleticism to put the ball in the paint all night long, and nobody in the league is going to stay in front of him without fouling him. It's just that simple. That's really what it is. Brandon Miller, on the other hand, I really like his game. He looks like he could be a Paul George player or a Terrence Ross. I'm not really sure which side I'm leaning on. He doesn't have the athleticism to it doesn't look like he has the athleticism to create on the perimeter against NBA level athletes. He doesn't look like he has that type of handle. He doesn't look like he's getting the shot off that quick. Now, so he's going to be jump shot reliant. He's not a driver by any means. So I don't think Charlie wants to rely on this guy's jump shot being effective to make the pick something that's valid, when they can rely on Scoot athleticism and size and speed, which we know that's going to be there from day one. So if Zion is available, obviously that changes everything. All right, it does, because Zion Williamson, the most efficient, one of the most efficient players not playing the center in the league today. I think he is the most efficient player not playing the center position, and he also what was I going to say? He also averages 26, I think. He's healthy, but that's the problem. Is he going to be healthy? You can't rely on that. You can't bank on that, and that's the problem going forward. Because what if they get Zion issues and LaMelo's left playing without him, with Zion in a bucket at him?
Look, Zion's healthy. He's healthy. We know his hips hurt.
Pardon my language, but screwing every girl in Charlotte while he's at it. All right.
That's why we know he's healthy. His hips work perfect.
Yeah, his hips and his calves.
Facts.
Well, look, this is what I'm saying. I feel like Scoot is the sure thing as far as drafting him. A lot of people are questioning the fit with him and LaMelo. I think the fit will be just fine, because LaMelo is a long-range shooter, so Scoot will have the space to penetrate and perform. No pause. And also, if he kicks the ball out, he's got Miles Bridges and LaMelo Ball space on the floor. He's got a slasher and Miles Bridges, if he can come back. He's got a center that's on the rise with Mark Williams. Mark my words, he is on the rise. And then also LaMelo can play on the ball as well, obviously. And Scoot, as an athlete, can run the lanes. He can find his place and play off the ball. They're both signed to Puma at this point. I think they already have somewhat of a relationship. They played on the same team in the World Games against. I think it was like one of those rookie versus sophomore games. They played on the same team. So I think Scoot is the pick if they're going with the pick.
Hey, can I interject there for me? Pause. Listen, I'll tell you this. All of that sounds good. I could make the same case for Zion Williamson. Like I told you guys, do your homework. LaMelo and Zion were supposed to play together, back in high school. Just shit didn't work out. Zion went a different path, but they were supposed to link up, so it could be unfinished business there. I hope that's on the table. And you did bring up something with B. I like that. I want to tell you this. I want to repeat this. All I care about is LaMelo Ball getting to the goddamn playoffs next year. So if they bring in Brandon Ingram, you telling me that's a hell of a chance of getting to the playoffs. You seen what he did out west. What the hell you think he's going to do out east? So I'm with that. If they roll with that, seriously, Brandon Ingram is completely unstoppable offense. I just want to let y'all know that. I don't know if y'all got amnesia. Maybe y'all need to do your home. No, I know, but I'm saying, are you telling me this guy Miller is going to be better than Brandon Ingram? These are the questions you got to ask yourself.
Right.
Seriously. Yeah, go ahead.
And it's not a guarantee, Flight. It's not a guarantee by any means. Brandon Ingram is a proven product, 25 points a game for the last 2 seasons, maybe even 3. He's a proven shot creator. He's a proven dog. He's going to get to the basket. He's going to get to the free throw line. He is a go-to scorer. He's a number one option on a playoff team. So if LaMelo has him, I pretty much would bet that they would make the playoffs. I just feel like they
You
would.
try to throw in the North Carolina connection because he's from North Carolina. He's not going. He's not going to the Hornets, bro. Stop it.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
listen, they want Scoot Henderson. That's what the Pelicans. The reports are coming at. They aggressively are coming after Scoot Henderson. You're not going to get this deal done with. Listen, maybe you might could get Charlotte to flinch at the last second on BI, but you put Zion on the table. We might work a deal out tonight. Is where I'm going with it. That's what I'm trying to allude to. So we're gonna have to figure out what the hell they do. Purple Baby, what's your thoughts on this? I know you've been listening.
First of all, I don't think people is really looking at this roster. Like I said many times before, yes, they do need another playmaker, but the thing is,
can I say something, Purple Baby? I don't mean to interrupt you because I was looking at the comment section on the last live, and they was coming at you a little bit. Shout out to Purple Baby. Her basketball intellect is top notch. I challenge any of you guys, out there around the world, to come to the altar. And I'm telling you, Purple Baby might annihilate you. She really just being nice, but I'm just saying, but I'm sorry, Purple Baby. I just got it because people got amnesia. I got to remind them.
Oh, okay. But if you look at this roster currently, right now, their biggest area of need is the wing position. Even with Miles Bridges and possibly PJ coming back, they don't have enough depth, at least at that 4 position at all. Like it's just PJ. Even if you put Miles there, you still have a lack of depth at your 3. Like you only have I think 4 guys altogether. Gordon, Miles, 3 and PJ. They need more depth at that 3 position than anything. And I don't think they'll get off of Rozier's contract during the draft. Maybe mid-season, during trade deadline, but not right now. Not when there's a possibility of better options out there at the 2 guard position as far as coming off the bench. Because, like, a team that, as I tell people a lot of times, a team that a guy like Rozier could start for is the Lakers. But the question is, could they absorb his 20? I think he's gonna be making $21 million next year. Right. Could they absorb that? In order for him to come over to the Lakers to start, are the Lakers interested in a player like Terry Rozier and stuff like that? So that's one thing to take in to note. I mean, I agree with the other guy as far as what he was saying about Scoot, but to me, it's most important that they go get a wing with Gordon Hayward. The last year of Gordon Hayward's deal, and then PJ. You got to figure out something. I think the center position is solidified. And, as far as Nick Richards and Mark Williams, you have to get a wing this year, whether it's Ingram, Miller, or even Zion. Zion would be a heck of an upgrade from PJ as far as offensive production and activity. So.
That'll be exactly what the doctor ordered. Shout out my man Joseph Abrams. Salute to you. Shout out to all Access Decks. Shout out to Douglas Golden Child Thunder. All y'all in the chat. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's Flight Sports TV. Man, it's crazy. You got all of this happening. The reports haven't came out yet on the Miller workout. But like I said, just now, literally, the reports came out on Scoot. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're delivering that information to you. Scoot Henderson continues to rise the charts. I can't wait till all this is over to figure out was Charlotte just fooling everybody all along. Are they going to roll with Scoot Henderson no matter what? Or are they going to just give the curveball, and go after, the big fish in Zion or Brandon Ingram, but they have a obligation to LaMelo Ball at the end of the day to get this team competitive. Now, these young players are all good. It sounds good, but they have an obligation, to LaMelo to get this man to the playoffs. They have to do their job as well. You got all of these other players their organizations are improving the roster. I want to repeat. Look what happened with his counterpart, Anthony Edwards. Yeah, it didn't work out, but look what they did. They put a whole lot on the table to go get Gobert. What the hell are the Hornets going to put on the table? You got Zion Williamson. You got B.I. right there. What are they going to do? You got all of these. Okay, you got all Bradley Beal is out there. I'm not saying you roll in that direction. It's a lot of things. What are the Hornets going to do for LaMelo Ball? What are they going to? That's what I want to know. Or is this shit just going to continue on and like the way it's moving? Because no young player who has been drafted is going through this.
It's going to continue on the way it's been going.
No, listen. We're gonna have to find out, man. It makes
Hey,
absolute no sense. What's good, Spike?
Hey, even the Kings went and made a move to get Sabonis for De'Aaron Fox.
See what I'm talking about? We could just keep going down the list.
Right, Michael Jordan. What did I ask you earlier? Is Michael Jordan still there? He's still there.
Listen, we got my man All Access in the building. Dex, talk to the people. We live.
Jesus
yes,
Christ.
Sir. Shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ, the hottest in these streets. Shout out to the panel as it reaches its premium peak. And most definitely shout out to the chat and all of its cacophony spewing out of the cracks and crevices of Flight Sports TV. And shout out to everybody that's rocking with us. Big ups to you, because you have been personally invited to a front row seat to this extravaganza. And guess what? It's not over. It's not over. There's more. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you won't miss one iota of an exuberant experience. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Yes, I see my man Phonics. I see Spike. I ain't seen you in a minute, Spike. Big ups to you.
What up,
Purple
bro?
Baby definitely has been holding it down in these weeks. So listen, I am very excited to know that the Charlotte Hornets are in the news to pump up the volume. It is important that the Charlotte Hornets make sound, discern decisions on the executive level, and then the players execute when they all coalesce together and augmented on that 94 feet parquet floor. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, James Jordan, Larry Jordan, the Jordan boys, in the spirit of your father, please get this right. Because I know that James Sr. would love to see all of y'all thrive. And in a capacity of executive, not just bouncing the ball, not just in commercials, but having a thought pattern that is symbiotic to winning. I'm talking about expeditiously, because LaMelo Ball deserves to be on a winning squad. So get this together, either scoop or trade it. And if Zion wants to play with Lonzo's younger brother, let's see how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, good call, Dex. What's your thoughts on that? Phonics, Spike, Purple Baby. Talk to me.
Hey, man. First off, I want to say shout out to Dex. I haven't been in a while. I haven't been over here in a while. I recently had a newborn. So, I got a 4-month-old.
Congratulations.
Son. Appreciate it, man. So, but everything is all good. But you know what, man? I'm happy to be back. And I'm happy to be back on the hegemony, all right? The hegemony of current constructed ball entertainment. All right, we're right here again, Flight Sports TV, and Dex is right. Michael Jordan's got to get this right. That's what this all boils down to. We could talk about Scoot all day. We could talk about Zion potentially. We could talk about Brandon Ingram potentially. We could talk about the kid from Alabama Hell, we could even go into the gun situation, right? But
Let's go
overall,
into it.
I
Pause.
mean, okay. So I think Brandon Miller is absolutely undraftable by Charlotte. And not because of his skill set or the way he plays basketball, is because Charlotte needs to shed the immaturity in the locker room. They need to shed the dysfunction. They need to shed the knuckleheadism. They need to shed the scraping by. They need to revamp what it is that they're putting out to the audience as far as what's expected to come. And a guy who was involved in a murder to some capacity, some will argue and say he didn't do anything. He didn't get charged for it. I don't give a damn. If I'm the Hornets, I don't have to draft that, so I'm staying away from it. All right. This is a 3-person draft. The first person is unavailable because he's getting drafted, number one, guaranteed. The second is unavailable because he got into some shit that we don't want to bring to our organization. We already have an immature look. And the other one in the 3-person draft just seems to be a potential generational talent. So it's obvious if they're going to draft who they need to pick. But Dex, at the end of the day, he's right. Michael Jordan has to get this right. That's what this all boils down to. Michael Jordan's decision. And this this ownership group, I think, is about to move on, and another one is going to come in. And with that being said, what type of disposition do they have to leave this franchise with? Are they going to leave this franchise with a great building block, or are they going to leave it with a bad decision made on draft night?
That's a hell of a statement. We're gonna find out. We won't know anything till draft night. That's the most crazy part of this whole situation.
No, it's
Shout out
not
my
the
man
craziest
Basil.
part.
Shout out
And man,
Chantal. Salute to the whole chat. You already know.
yo,
What's the
Flight,
deal, Finance?
the craziest part about all of this is we don't know where Jordan stands. We know that he makes the most effed up decisions in GM history, in owner history, but we're not talking about this. You're talking about potential trades and all of that. That Jordan could nix at the drop of a dime. He hasn't signed off anything. He's still on the board of directors. He's still probably, what I'm saying, on the owners. He's on everything. So what are we saying right here? So what I'm saying is Hornets, they're not making the playoffs next year. They're not making the playoffs. Mm-mm.
Oh,
You
find
don't
it.
think so?
Find it.
New Orleans
Oh,
in the
my
house.
boy Wardy! What up, Wardy?
New
Find it by
Orleans
the
is
book.
second.
Find it. They back being delusional. The Hornets don't got nothing that we want. They said it today. They said it today on local
Listen,
TV. The Hornets don't
they
stand
said
a
well,
chance.
they
They
said
said,
that.
man, look what they
Well,
said,
stop
man.
lying.
Get him, Wardy.
They say everybody. They say Bi and Zion is off limits, but
Yeah, okay.
they'll entertain the cause. That's what they said, and you know what that means. That's being sarcastic.
Right.
So see, don't let Sky fool you with these
Hey,
I'm
reports.
now
telling
Sky
who
you,
said
trying.
that?
man.
Who's the source, brother?
Thank you.
Who
Who the
the
hell is the
source is?
source?
The source Fox 8.
Fox 8. Who is Fox 8?
That's who Gail Benson owned Fox 8. That's who owned it. The
Oh
owner.
man, so they control the narrative.
Okay.
Exactly.
So here's the thing. That could be the case. They could not be interested in that 2 pick. They could care less about Scoot Henderson. But
Man,
their
why would
name,
y'all look?
hold
Why
on,
would y'all
listen.
think?
Hold on. But their name is in the mix right now on a national level. So they
The
can say what
national,
hold on. They can
you
say
tell me the
what
time when the
hold
national
on,
level
brother.
got it right.
Hold on, brother. Hold on,
Tell me the
please.
time when the
Respectfully.
national level got it right.
Respectfully, brother, please. Respectfully. So their name is in the mix on a national level as far as trying to get in with this number 2 pick. But over that, it sounds like New Orleans has an affinity for Scoot Henderson. That's actually what it is. It's not even the pick. It's really Scoot Henderson. So we're gonna find out. Yeah. Go ahead.
My bad. Shout out to my man Basil Carpenter Jr. He says ready for draft, love and peace. If we ready for Scoot Henderson, go ahead. Spike. My bad.
Yeah, no, you good.
Appreciate you the $20 super chat.
Oh, Spike.
Shout out to the brother. But hold on, real quick.
Spike, they've been telling y'all.
Real quick.
Spike,
Real
they've
quick.
been telling
Sports
y'all
TV,
live.
ladies and
Just
gentlemen.
hold on for a second. I got you. I'm gonna swing it right to you. But it seems like the Pelicans are potentially interested in Scoot Henderson. They see him as a generational franchise player, and as meticulous as David Griffin can get, if he wants him, then he's gonna try to go get him. So we're gonna find out draft night. I don't give a damn what News 8 says
Man,
today.
that's what I'm
tell you that
trying to
right
tell
now.
you. That's what I'm trying to tell you though, but you ain't trying to hear me. There's no way possible that's gonna work. Even with the money, Zion already done signed the contract, so you still got to make the money work.
Listen, we spoke on this yesterday, Sky. I think you got amnesia.
Man,
We
nah,
told
man.
you're gonna have to take
Man, they already
Gordon Hayward. He's on.
no. They already went through the scenarios with that. Like literally, they will have to give. This why they say the only person they could give that's worth that could help facilitate the trade is Lamelo Ball, and the Pelicans do not want Lamelo Ball, and basically they'll have to switch
Man, you acting like
They'll have to
yeah.
switch all six. They'll have to switch down there the whole team with each other. They'll have to swap teams for that trade to even go through. They already talked about that. So they're off the table. Even if they do trade, it's not going to be Charlotte.
I can see that.
I'm telling you what they say. There's no way possible it could work. The best person they got over there, which we talked about last night, was Lamelo. And their Pelicans say they do not want him. So what else do they have to offer? They say they're not gonna want to trade the Gordon Hayward because he fall off, and they say they're not taking. Am I lying? I don't know. I don't follow.
But Sky, the Pelicans make the call.
Look, I'm about to
So that
tell
don't
you
make sense
that
to me.
all that's lie. All that's lie.
Why would the Pelicans want to trade up to right there?
Well, how
I want to ask you a question,
this
brother.
out. Hold on, I'm about to tell you.
I want to ask you why the Pelicans would want to trade up. That's what I want to ask you.
Who y'all heard that from? But the national media, they always get it wrong.
Yeah, Yahoo News is saying it. Sports Center is saying it. Every sports publication right now is saying they're interested in number 2. So I'm asking you, why would they want to move up? Why would they want to trade up?
You telling me the same people who said that he wasn't going to sign the contract, the same people who say he didn't want to be here, the same people. That's the same people who say
no. You trying to kill off national media to fit your narrative.
I am.
You got to answer my question right now, brother.
I am.
Listen, brother, you got to answer my question. Why would the Pelicans want to get number 2? Why would they want to be there?
Who said that?
I just told you. Every national publication in sports.
Man, for the past 3 years, they've been saying this dude wanted to go to New York. Like the national media been getting it wrong. He came out and said, I don't know.
So you're telling me that so simply in simple terms, you're telling me that the Pelicans do not want to move up in the draft. Is that what you're telling me?
What I'm telling you is they'll move up if they're willing to take what we willing to give. But if they ain't willing to give, this is what y'all don't understand. They talked about the whole scenario.
No, brother, hold on. No, you're not answering the question. Why? So if they're willing to move up, why would they? What do they want? What do they want? What do they want up there?
The question is, who wouldn't be willing to
brother,
move up?
What do they want up there? What do they want up there? That's what I'm asking you. What do the Pelicans want up there?
What you mean want up there?
If they move up in the draft, I'm asking you, why would they even move up? What do they want up there?
What you mean? What do they want up there?
Hold on one second.
They're gonna take the best thing. Who wouldn't?
But hold on one second.
Yeah.
The Knicks, breaking news, the Knicks have entered the conversation. The New York Knicks have entered the conversation of landing Zion with a 3-team trade. The New York Knicks have entered the conversation.
It wasn't no 3-team trade. I don't know what you saw.
This brother know everything about New Orleans. Ain't nothing flying over here.
I've been following
it.
I've been following it. It ain't no 3-team trade.
Now I want to ask you though. I want to ask you.
I'm about to tell you what they said. These people gonna get like 4 picks. They were gonna get Obi Toppin. The same thing we said last night on the screen. 4 picks and quickly.
All right. So what I'm asking you is, what is the Pelicans' target? That's what I'm asking you in the draft.
Man, the Pelicans' target is the best player available.
That's hold on.
This is what I'm trying to tell you.
So who? But if so, they just want to get one of the best players in the top 10. That's all they want.
What you mean?
They don't have an aim in there.
No, ain't no top 10. That's what I'm trying. This is what I'm trying to tell you. If they could get the pick based off of what they're willing to give,
what pick?
You trying to
pick?
Let me talk. If they could get, I'm gonna put it to you like this.
Just tell me the pick, brother.
If they could get Scoop, right?
Ah, okay.
No. I'm about to tell you. See, if they could get Scoop without giving up nothing, who wouldn't do that?
Oh, so do you think that's going to happen?
No, answer that question for me.
Hold on, brother. Do you think that's realistic?
What you mean?
You gonna get scooped and not give up nothing? That's how it works.
No, it's based off of how.
So what the hell is you talking about?
This is what I'm saying. It's they not about to give up nothing on an unproven player. They not about to do that.
So they don't want Scoot then, right?
No, that's the stuff. Look, this is what I'm saying. If they get Scoot, fine. But if they don't get Scoot, it's fine too. Y'all acting I know they're fine either way. I'm asking you, do they want Scoot? Is that their target?
who don't want Scoot if they could get it?
All right. So look, if that's their target, if that's what they're interested in, then who do they have to do a deal with to try to make that happen?
Dog, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
You ain't gonna answer my question, huh?
It's two people they could do a deal with.
No. It's one person that you know.
It's not guaranteed.
Hold on. It's one deal that you know you can get Scoot with. It's one deal.
What you mean? But this is what I'm trying.
It's only one deal. So you told me earlier. Who's that deal that the Pelicans would have to make a deal with?
You taking what I'm saying. You taking what I'm saying out of context. I'm saying is, if this what y'all fail to realize.
See, you're not answering my question. You're trying to go all over the place with the goalposts, brother.
Look. You trying to make it like the Hornets control the narrative. Nah,
brother. I didn't say nothing. All I'm doing is walking with you. If they want to get Scoot, who do they have to make a deal with?
I'm trying to tell you, we good without Scoot.
I know y'all are.
Y'all
but I'm
trying
saying,
to force Scoot on us.
I know y'all good without Scoot, but I'm saying if y'all want to get Scoot, hold on, brother. You're not trying to do it.
What I'm saying.
You're not trying to walk.
No, because you ain't listening to what you saying.
No, I know exactly what I'm saying. You're not trying to walk.
Why are we desperate to break up our team to get Scoot? Does that make sense?
I don't think y'all are.
That's the point I'm getting at.
But I'm asking you. That's not the question. I'm asking you specifically.
All right.
If they want to get Scoot, if David Griffin says, "Yeah, I want Scoot. I want him. I'm gonna try to get him." Right.
Right.
Who does he have to try to make a deal with to try to get him?
You got to try to make a deal with Charlotte to be a safe.
All right. So look, brother, you came in hot talking about they would never. Hold on. You said they would never make a deal with Charlotte. But if David Griffin wants Scoot, that's who he has to make a deal with.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. They making the deals, but we calling the shots. You trying to make it seem like y'all calling the shots. It's tons of ways we can.
Wait a minute, you guys called Charlotte.
No, Charlotte
ain't all of a sudden y'all taking over.
Yeah.
Look, how our team don't call the shots.
Charlotte ain't calling y'all.
Look, check this out. We still got Beal on 2 years.
Charlotte is not calling y'all for that.
I'm gonna show you the difference. This is the difference from Charlotte.
Now he's about to break down the roster. Like we don't know the roster.
No. This is different from Charlotte, and this is different from us, right? We lose nothing if we don't get Scoot. We lose nothing.
Yeah, I know that.
Y'all gonna be on two guards with Scoot that y'all got to figure out who y'all gonna play.
Now he's trying to discredit the franchise. Brother, I'm asking you about one particular thing. You're trying to move the goalpost now.
I'm moving the goalpost
because you're trying to bring up. You're trying to bring up Scoot and LaMelo's fit. We ain't talking about that.
I'm not bringing up the fit. I'm telling you.
Get him, Woody.
Look, it's fine. If you don't want to hear the truth, I'm telling you where we call the shots at, nigga. Y'all either stuck with Scoot and LaMelo. Y'all either stuck with Scoot and LaMelo, or y'all can take what we willing to give y'all, which is not gonna be them two.
So who's calling who? That's what I want to know.
What you mean?
Who's calling
New
who? Who's picking up
Orleans
the phone?
Pelicans
Look,
show
that's what the
interest.
See, he don't want to answer that. He don't want to answer that.
Look, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
You see how I'm asking him simple questions and he don't want to answer it?
I'm about to answer it for you.
That brother dancing all over the
place. No. I'm about to answer it for you. You said
who pick up that phone?
That's
what I want to know.
The national media saying we call.
Who picking up that phone?
But that don't make no sense.
Thunder Zion wants out. Thunder.
And look. This is why I'm trying
Either
to.
You gonna have a disgruntled superstar, or you gonna change the culture and not let Zion be a poison inside that locker room. That's what's happening, Thunder. But what you're saying is right. If we put on our GM hats and be with common sense, that's right. You wouldn't do that. But Thunder. Zion wants out, so he's putting pressure on these people. They don't want the Anthony Davis stuff to repeat.
Check this out. Who is disgruntled? Who will be disgruntled? Because Zion saying,
from what I'm reading, Zion saying he won't go to New York, not Charlotte. So if you trade him to Charlotte, he really gonna be disgruntled.
Listen,
That's not.
American
Man,
12.
read
Listen,
what they said. Read the article.
uh,
What they said. They said
Yeah,
that his
Woody.
team is
I ain't gonna lie. I
listen,
did
facilitating
listen,
hear
Sky.
something.
a
I heard about
trade
New York.
to New
Listen,
York.
Sky.
Yeah, Woody.
Sky, when we have
Which one
situations
it
like that,
is?
hold on a second, Sky. When we have situations like this, normally either the fan base or some type of promotion would say, keep Zion or whatever. The mayor is not even speaking on that topic. So it seemed like the people want Zion gone. They tired of his petulance.
They're tired of him. They're tired of him.
You have to look behind that. And then let me tell you guys something else that you guys probably not be familiar with.
Wait, Dex. What you said,
Charlotte,
Dex? I couldn't get it.
Charlotte.
What you said? No,
Okay, hold on
who
one second.
want?
Charlotte is a banking hub. Let me give y'all some
Wait.
information.
You ain't
Charlotte
understand.
is a banking hub, right? This is where Bank of America headquarters are at. Do you know that they're looking to expand in New Orleans? So they already have a grip on Charlotte and their sports franchise, right? They're looking to expand in New Orleans. So if they're looking to expand in New Orleans, they want some subtlety. They want something that's stable. They don't want no fickle, flickering superstar. Want in one day, want out one day, want to play one day, and then I'm not.
Wait, Dex, I'm trying to walk you back because you're talking fast. You're trying to fast talk me. You
I'm
came
not
out
trying
and
to
said,
fast talk
no,
you.
yes, she is. What you said about the fans in New Orleans? You said New Orleans, aren't they disgruntled about Zion?
No. I'm talking about Zion.
Wait, how is
Zion is on the edge of being disgruntled. Zion is trying to play two ends of the fence. I mean, it's obvious. He say one thing behind closed doors to push his people out to speak for him, and then when he get in front of the camera, he wants to be the naive, gullible, good diaper
They say
dandy.
burning the
Dex,
candle at both ends,
Dex.
Dex. That's what they're saying.
No,
Yeah.
Dex, this is what y'all fail to understand. I'm not saying that. I'm not even fighting y'all with that. What I'm fighting y'all with is if he go, it's not gonna be Charlotte. I'm not even. I don't know how
That's
the
what.
dude
But
feel.
listen to what I'm trying to tell
Y'all
you.
steady saying it's gonna be Charlotte. Don't have enough.
But how are they gonna get scooped if they don't
That's
deal
a
with Charlotte?
pipe dream. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So y'all
So
ain't getting scooped
look,
then.
look,
That's
look,
all you
look,
gotta
look.
say. Say we're
That's
not
the
getting scooped.
point I'm
That's that.
getting at.
Just say
But what
that.
I said that. But what I said already though. If we don't get scooped, we fine
Nah,
anyway.
y'all done. Just say y'all not
We
getting scooped. That's
understand
all you
that.
gotta
No,
say.
we understand that. You right
Man,
on that. You guys are.
man,
Listen,
y'all
you
trying to push an
misunderstanding the wave.
unproven rookie on us.
No.
The national
Listen,
media doing that too.
hold on, Sky. What's happening is Zion behind the scenes wants out. That's what you're missing. And David Griffin, he's in somewhat of a conundrum because this is his guy. He drafted this guy after he
Ain't you?
was awarded the first pick overall for the Anthony Davis debacle. He
Ain't
don't
you?
want this type of thing to happen again.
What does that
Because the
mean? That
culture
should
in the
not
locker
sound like
room.
nothing. He hasn't contributed anything anyway. So what are you saying? You acting
That's
like he was a contributor, like he was putting it
look,
in. No, nobody
No,
care.
find
He
this.
he
ain't
was.
got
Find
issues.
this.
I'm going with
Find
Sky.
this.
I'm going
That's
with
that
Sky on
Woody.
that one. He was contributing.
Find this. This is what they don't understand. They steady saying he won't
Shit,
out,
we
right?
don't understand.
They steady, y'all don't, because y'all don't get it. Y'all steady saying he
We
disgruntled,
said
right?
Zion is important to
He
New
never
Orleans, but he
played.
don't want to be there.
Look. He never played anyway. So we got him on a fresh 5. So even if we sit him down a year or two before we decide to let him go, he got to deal with it.
Right. That's a fact.
Yeah, but
That's
why
what
I
why
agree.
y'all
why
on.
would
But
y'all want to? Why would y'all want a player that ain't playing when you can get
Man,
another player
Now,
that
but we
can
have him
play?
under contract.
but
If I have you under contract, I have you under contract. That doesn't matter. I have you under contract.
that
Yeah,
does
but
You know what
matter
I'm
because
saying?
you know why it
No, it
I'm
matters?
asking
doesn't.
you.
No, it
I'm
doesn't.
asking you.
No, it
So
doesn't. Because
Let's
no,
get
no,
clarity.
hold on. Y'all talk. I
Let's
ain't
get
say
clarity.
nothing. Y'all talk. I ain't say nothing. He ain't played damn near for the
Ain't no
last
way
2
you ain't saying that.
years. He
he
ain't
already
played. No,
played.
I didn't say anything. I didn't
That's
say
not
anything.
the issue.
No,
The
no, no,
issue
no,
is he
no,
don't want
no,
to
no.
be
It is
there.
the issue. It doesn't matter if he doesn't want to be there or not.
No,
The fact
get
is,
to the
like,
root.
like what I'm saying is, we have
Listen,
you
get to
under
the root of it.
contract. Okay, I'm getting to the root of it. Let me finish. We have you under contract, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how you feeling or what you feeling. Either you gonna perform for us or you play for no one. What you gonna do? Yo, the NBA is getting real tight on this now. They tired of dudes trying to force their way out of situations. And you're damn near not gonna get somebody like Zion who's on a rookie contract, then read up, and now, oh, I want to go. No, because you having your own issues. It's not gonna work like that, bro. No, I'm saying, look how the Denver Nuggets, Nuggets just won their championship. Look how they just won. Look how we just see Miami with their dudes that came in. Yo, we talking about dudes unsigned draft picks, so they'll just take chances, and they'll be done with these dudes and their issues and their baby mama issues and all of that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
But the root of it is this. The New Orleans Pelicans already went through a fiasco with Anthony Davis, right? And then they acquired Zion through the draft. So that kind of rightened the ship to some way. Now it seemed like history is repeating itself with Zion, but Zion is playing two ends of the middle where Anthony Davis didn't. Anthony Davis told him straight up, I'm not resigning.
After he played about 8 years, 9 years, we wasn't mad he left. That dude deserved to go. He worked his contract. We talking about Zion that got
Sky. What I'm speaking about is the event.
We talking about Zion that got a free check for 3 years. You think it's a whole different type of love.
So y'all want to keep Zion on the roster out of spite or what?
That's what it sounds like.
He on the roster out of spite already.
Okay,
he ain't playing the last 3 years.
So it's out of spite. Okay, so yeah, we know Zion want to lead in if it's out of spite.
No,
we know that now.
See, you trying to mix up my words.
But you saying, okay, hold on. You saying Zion want to leave, but what you're not saying is who is going to want him? With his history, who is going to want him? I heard that from somebody said the Knicks. Knicks don't want him.
Hold on, no, Phonics, hold on one second. You got it right back. Who wants him, right? Who want a star that could change his mind at any given moment and don't like the city anymore, or get involved in some scandalous off-court activity and trying to duck up out of there without facing the music? You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot that's going on to unpack with Zion, and that's what I'm trying to explain. So when I talked about Bank of America trying to expand into New Orleans, that's a connection in itself as well, but on the financial tip.
Why he just don't? If this dude trying to leave, why he just donated $250,000 to Jefferson Parish
face from
that's a PR stunt. You know that he could have been did that.
So now
he literally got caught in a prostitute.
You think that's the you think that's the only thing he donated? You think that dude don't be donating?
No. Why the other stuff didn't come to the forefront then? If he's been donating, why that didn't come to the forefront?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Nothing coming to the forefront on the national media
donations
from y'all.
From a max player are a formality. They have to happen. That's
man,
not that is.
I think Zion is expendable. I think he's expendable.
I'm down here.
Okay, that's what the New Orleans Pelicans trying to figure out. Phonics, that's a good point. The New Orleans Pelicans is really trying to figure out how expendable is he, because Zion did not participate in none of the runs that New Orleans was on, except when they got the first seed. But as far as the playoff and the play-in, Zion was absent.
Hold on, Dex. If we're gonna talk about Henderson, you know who else we gotta talk about, right?
No, man, we're not trying to make.
We gotta bring that dude in too. We gotta bring that other dude in too. No, we gotta bring that other dude in too. He the same way. He out there making kids line too. He ain't participating. Okay, I'm just saying.
Stop for real.
I'm going to bet anyway, so you can probably whatever.
Satisfy your appetite.
I'm just saying, it could be about him too.
But that's a different story. We have streams for that, but he's not congruent in this situation.
Okay, so we could beat down on Zion. We could beat down Zion. I don't have no problem with that.
Man, look, this the thing. This the thing. They wishing on a star right now. That's why I'm trying to tell you. They wishing on a star. They hoping.
No, we're not hoping. We just feeding off the reports.
No, this is what I'm saying. When y'all gonna be telling me again, I'm right.
When you say y'all, you talking about the stream or you talking about mainstream media?
Yeah, you too, because you said like you know everything. When the draft night comes, I come on here.
Nah, I want you to see,
and I want you to see. You know what, Scott?
I'm not trying to break up your team because your team ain't did nothing.
Get him, Wally.
Man,
So
look at
I'm not trying to take Zion away from
man.
y'all.
It ain't about taking. Look, see, they keep thinking we want Zion. What we saying is we not taking anything for Zion. That's what we talking about. We ain't
But
talking. If he won't go, we
but
could
we
go.
understand that
Look,
though.
look, look, look.
That's circular logic. We understand that.
That's the
We
point
ain't
I'm
gonna just
getting
take
at.
anything for
It ain't
Zion.
that.
But
It
what
ain't
we're
that.
reporting is the pestilence that's at the core
And
of all these media reports
look what
that the New Orleans Pelicans are looking to move up to get Scoot
Hey,
Henderson.
hey, hey, with
Listen,
this, hey, with
that is
this,
defined. They
hey, with
said the
this, you're
name
right.
Scoot Henderson. They didn't say we want to move up to get Brandon Miller or
Hey, with
2
this,
or
you're right.
3. No, they
You're
want the
right, but
number 2
I
pick.
think, hey, I think Lonzo. I'm not Lonzo. Excuse me, I didn't mean Lonzo. I apologize. Um, Zion
LaMelo.
no, I meant Zion. He's in more trouble than he even realizes because all of this shit is really not looking good. And the fact that it's not looking good is he hasn't performed. You know what I'm saying?
look. Any gotta
I
play
agree
now.
with you, Finance. This is what we're saying. But
Any gotta
Scotty's talking
play.
some other stuff.
Look, any he gotta play. He have to play now. What are y'all
Who is he
talking
He's
gonna
about?
healthy,
play?
right? Isn't he healthy?
What?
Isn't Zion healthy? What's the report? You the boots on the ground in New
Man, you
Orleans.
know
What's the
he
report
healthy,
on Zion
man.
health?
Look. This the point I'm getting at. He healthy. You know he healthy. He don't have to. This is what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Why would we trade him and we got him right where we want him at? If he don't, if his weight ain't right, he hit. Like, why would we do that?
But don't you think that might be part of his far cry? Is that
Nah, I think
all of these
no.
stipulations in his contract that he's
That's
want a clean contract like
that's. I
anybody
think
else?
I think that's more of a security on both blankets because that's something he's supposed to be doing anyway. So I think they doing more of babysitting them, to be honest.
They are. I agree. They are
I agree
babysitting.
with
No,
that.
no doubt.
Yeah, I agree with that.
See, we always look at it from a negative part. You know what I'm saying? I think they doing more to help him. I don't think they're really doing something based off of his weight. He's a pound or two over. You think they really gonna worry about that? Nah. It's the point when he came in there the way he came in there that year when he didn't play. Oh no. Oh no.
But what we're saying is Zion don't want to be here, regardless of how much chaperoning the New Orleans Pelicans organization going
That's
to
what I'm
do for
saying. Why
Zion.
you could
Zion
why
appears to not want to be there because it's
Okay,
always
well,
something,
Dex, where
right?
does he want to be? Dex, where does he want to be?
I think he
Where does
want
he
to be
want
in
to
New
be?
York. To be honest with you,
Nah, we're not having that in New York. What do we want with him in New York? He can't perform in New Orleans. We don't want that. Oh, you think we down bad like that? Like we just take
I,
anything,
I
Dex?
think you guys are
Stop
in a
being
better.
disrespectful, man.
No,
Stop
no,
being disrespectful, my
Phonics. No,
team, man.
really, Phonics. You guys are in a way better situation than New Orleans. You follow what I'm saying? You made it to the second round. New Orleans ain't even made it out the first round.
Yeah, but we
Zion
don't
had
want
nothing to
that
do with
dude.
none of that.
We don't want
So
that dude. He's
I'm
not a
just saying
hard worker.
what he wants. That's what
Nah, he ain't
I'm just
coming.
speculating. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
he
don't know
ain't
his
going to
head,
New York.
but I'm
He ain't going to New
speculating that
York.
he wants to be in the Big Apple.
Yeah,
But
he ain't going to New York.
may I
If you
make
don't,
a make
go
real
ahead,
quick?
Purple.
How are they gonna be able to take Zion contract on and they still got Randall there?
I mean,
They
that's what trades are for, right? You move pieces around.
what piece you would have to send
I,
back
I have the slightest idea because New York has just entered the conversation as I spoke with 30 minutes ago. They
And
have
Randall's
entered
an
the
all-star.
conversation, so
Randall's an all-star.
they haven't presented any exact trade offers. They're just interested in what the Pelicans are probably looking for to move Zion. I don't think New York has open anything or leaked information about what they're willing to give for Zion. They just want to know if Zion is really available or just kerfuffle.
a cousin of your car.
oh
But they are in the conversation. So it's 3 teams now are in the conversation, and that is New Orleans, Charlotte Hornets, and the New York Knicks. It could
and
be more
the
as the
Man,
draft
you
gets
lying, man. The
closer.
Blazers too, man. They got the Blazers. What are you
and the
talking
Houston
about?
Rockets, the Blazers, the Houston Rockets.
They want the number 2 pick, not the number 3
Man,
pick.
man, they want whatever. If
Whatever the
Charlotte,
best deal is.
yeah,
And Bradley Beal about to get in a trade. He about to get in a trade block.
I'm sorry, whoever get him gonna wish they never got him. I'm sorry, dog. Like that is
Not who, Purple.
Mm.
Who you talking about, Purple?
Bill.
Oh,
I
okay.
agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. He took the bag for all these years, so we know he's not a winner. He ain't dedicated to winning at all. Him and Damian Lillard. He's
Kyle
another
Lowry,
one.
Kyle Lowry 2.0.
Yeah, word. I'll just get the bag. I ain't dedicated to winning. Just pay me the bag.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I said now he want to leave Washington, but I don't think it's new ownership. I think it's a new GM that they got, and he wasn't with all that. Like he was like, absolutely not. We need to get Beal, and that was last season. Like he wanted Beal off the team last season, so
Yeah, because of the money. Probably trying to free up some money. But this dude just won't go nowhere. He keeps signing contracts, and he's the only thing they have in Washington. And he's really capitalized off of that. This man is super rich. The same with Dave Lillard in
Now,
Portland.
I want to add something about this with Bill because Bradley Bill is one of my favorite players. Shout out to the Bill situation. If y'all unfamiliar with, he does have a no trade clause. The only player in the NBA right now with a no trade clause. So I mean, this is the kind of caliber of a player we talking about. They can't just send him wherever the hell they want to, and even when he moves on, the other team can't just say, "Oh, what the hell? I'm ready to get rid of him. Let's send him to Utah." It don't work like that. This is like the Carmelo Anthony situation back in the days. He went with the no trade clause. I don't know if y'all remember that. So he's gonna go somewhere where he want to go, preferably to a winner. It's time for a rebuild and change. And he was loyal to the goddamn organization. So he did just take all the goddamn money. But I will say this: for his next move, he could be a winning player. I want to remind the people, the Wizards wasn't always a goddamn joke. Before John Wall just collapsed and never it was the same. The Wizards was one of the scarier teams in the East around the time when LeBron, I believe, was in Cleveland with Irvin. They was a challenging team with Wall and him, and they beat a couple. I think they beat the Raptors when the Raptors had the number one seed or some shit like this back in the days. I'm not 100% familiar, but they upsetted somebody in the first round. They were a competitive team when they had the right pieces on the table. Hopefully, Bill could get back to that and to where his trajectory was. It wasn't supposed to be in the slums, but keep going.
I just feel like he's not gonna perform on a winner. Like
Like, yeah, I was just making the case for that.
No, you're
I
right.
believe in him.
He's not. He's not. And you'll never mind the Wizards. They ain't been nothing since they was the Bullets. And that's before your time, young man. You know what I'm saying? No, Perfect. You're absolutely right. Bradley Bill should get paid no more money. He's robbed the bank with no gun for many, many years. Many, many years. Him and Dame Dollar should just go somewhere and say, you know what? My first year will be free if I can't deliver a championship. Let's say you, Purple Baby.
Phoenix, who you think worse, him or Lonzo?
He just trying to start some mess.
Who
Don't
you think
bite,
worse,
Phonics.
him or Lonzo?
He just trying to insert Lonzo the best way he know how, thinking that's gonna get back at the stream.
No, it ain't, man. It's the truth, man. What's up
That
with y'all
why
boys?
why would you even insert Lonzo and he hasn't
Y'all
played
chatty
basketball in almost 2
patties.
years?
Man, y'all chatty patties, man. Y'all talk about everybody else, man. What's up
Listen.
with
You
y'all
keep it up.
boys?
I'm muting your mic because I see you trying to start mess.
What's up with
We
y'all
on
boys?
Zion. We on Beal. We on players that's playing.
Man,
Lonzo's not even playing right now. When new news come out about Lonzo, then we'll update
we
you.
might don't never get that. That's why we on his ass
Okay,
right now.
but we on Zion right now, though. We on that Zion wave.
Man, we want to know the
You
truth.
don't
All right, man.
want to be in
So,
that hot,
all
smoldering,
right, cool. I got you,
humid
Dax.
New Orleans.
So if Zion Williamson stays in New Orleans, let's just think hypothetically. Let's say everything we saying is garbage in your opinion. What do the Pelicans look like for him? Coming back there, like
dang,
what y'all need to do to win? I mean, because the West ain't nothing but getting better.
Woody, where you at, Woody?
I ain't hear what he said.
I said that basically, if everything we saying is not true, and that he's headed to, staying in New Orleans, what does the Pelicans have to do to put on the floor? Could they improve this roster in any capacity? In order to get them to the top of the food chain in the West. It's only getting deeper. Like, what do the Pelicans got to do?
Stay healthy.
Yep, I agree with that.
So they ain't got to add no additions. I see.
Man,
Okay.
it's simple, man. Stay healthy. What you mean? What additions, man? We got the same team from last year. What additions?
Hey, but I gotta say this though, Wody. Yo, I was highly disappointed in your team this year.
Man,
I was highly disappointed.
Though a lot of our games we played with the bench that normally score. You can't win.
Where was everybody at, man? Alvarez was out, man. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah, we gotta do better, man.
But that's why I'm trying.
Brandon Ingram played like a second option.
Look, that's why I'm trying to tell you, man. They gonna run it back, man. If they get scooped, fine. But if they don't get scooped, they cool. They gonna run it back.
I don't see why that whole school thing. I just don't understand.
And
I don't understand either, Justin. I don't understand either.
Look, I don't even believe that. I'm gonna be honest with you. 'Cause they just drafted that boy Dyson Daniels. I don't even believe that. I believe that's the national media pushing that just to have something to talk to get the heat off Zion. I already said that last year.
But I think it's a better question at hand. What, if anything, hesitancy do Charlotte have about Scoop to where they willing, to be like, yeah, we gonna let people entertain because something ain't right in the water. I don't understand what it is.
Zion seems to be one of those type of dudes. He made a poo-poo down there in New Orleans, and now he want to run from it instead of facing the music and handling his business like a real soldier. He want to duck and dodge, and get out of town and leave his mess behind him.
I agree with you, Dex. I agree with you. He look like he a punk motherfucker. I agree with you. You know what I'm saying? He do. He's like he a real clown. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen that he's a simp. He's a young simp too. He's too young to be a simp, but he's a young simp. Paying all kind of money and getting caught up like that. You should have more game than that, man.
Well, the social media.
Mm-hmm.
Don't end up like Zion, y'all.
But you got to remember, Phonics, Zion grew up knowing nothing but the internet and everything that comes with it. Where some of us grew up without the internet and knew how to navigate these streets properly.
True, I did.
But pay homage. Listen, I caught that shit at the tail end before they just went to the explosion. Pause. So I remember when before the internet got crazy. Like I was around for that. I remember when it was the chat rooms, like when social media was in its inception. It was it wasn't really like that. I remember the Nokias. On my first phone, I remember when I graduated. I think I graduated fucking middle school. I got a fucking flip phone. That era. When you had to text, you had to press the buttons 5, 4 to get a damn letter and get your words out. So I was around before the social media just blew up. So I can only imagine how it is today with these tablets and all this shit. And it's crazy.
Hey Dex, you remember, right? Hey, yo, I'm calling your house phone, right? And you hear that beep. Yo, Dex, who that beep is for? You hear that beep in the phone. What that beep for your mama? Nothing, yo, don't get off the phone and see what happened later.
Yo, I remember get off the phone. Yo, it took me a while to realize the pager just was a fucking call ID.
Word.
So he's living in a different world. And then I'm quite sure that he was somewhat sheltered based on his athleticism and his uniqueness with his biological form. So they probably sheltered him, whereas a lot of the young black males that grew up loving basketball grew up in somewhat impoverished environment. Not all, but probably majority. So they kind of been talked to harshly. They already went through the bad girlfriend syndrome. You know what I'm saying? And And from that experience, they was able to navigate these shark infested waters.
Man, I
But
don't think that dude even care, man. Y'all making a big deal out there, man. That dude don't care. Dude, the BBL king. That dude, I don't see nothing the dude did wrong. What he ain't
we're
supposed
not saying he did anything wrong.
to. Only thing he did
But
wrong, man.
what the reason why this has been such a publication is due to the fact that Zion was supposed to work his way back onto the court, but he was working his way back on backs and sleeping in it.
Right.
That's
Right.
why this is
Right.
news.
I
Other
agree
than
with
that, it
that.
wouldn't be nothing.
I agree with that.
Man, when you take them people money, man,
And
you're
now we see that he was doing windmill dunks before games, but not participating in the games. What's that all about?
man, that's part. What you mean? What's that about?
Yeah, that's why I'm proposing a question, like not
No,
just
I agree with
directly
it.
to you.
Nah, that's right. You right. I agree with that too. Like you got all this extracurricular activity. Now this shit then came out, but you wasn't dedicated to your team. When
But
your team needed you in the playoffs, you wasn't there.
that's what he might have needed, though. That's what I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
tell you. What he got. That's what he need.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm trying to tell you why. That's why I don't think they'll trade him.
Nah, they're not gonna get rid of him. They're not
Nah,
gonna get rid of him.
oh,
Nah, he still got a rope. He still got a rope. He ain't going
man, this
nowhere.
dude got a fresh 5-year
Mm-hmm.
contract.
Yeah, exactly. He got to perform this year. You know what I'm saying? And I think he will.
When you go to making demands, you got to prove yourself first.
I don't think he can make any more demands. He's in an effed up situation. Like this shit is everywhere. Everybody is talking about this, man. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody dies in the sports world or something like that, we're gonna be talking about, you know what I'm saying, him. Ain't nobody talking about Lonzo or nothing. We talking about Zion.
Or there ain't nothing to talk about him. What you mean? The other brother, he didn't went dead. Nobody know where he at. He another BBB king.
Listen,
BBL.
we're gonna have a latest on Jello, coming up soon. But we got to keep the focus on the Charlotte Hornets.
Always keep the focus on somebody.
Well, I mean, we just had a Lonzo stream not too long ago, but who knows? It's the off season. We might pop up with a Lonzo stream tomorrow and have the whole floor for you. So it's not a situation where somebody trying to silence you. It's just
Yeah, troop embargo.
we
Trying to
may
make it
have
like it's a troop embargo.
yeah, we may have we don't get down like that. Who's to say we don't just up something tomorrow and just and really that'll be your time.
Everything I said was true though, huh? You can't give me that flight
On what?
on y'all boy.
What's up with Zion?
No, y'all
Man,
boy.
nah,
Man.
listen, like I said, we'll get into that later on during the week. I don't want to have to violate you now, because it'll just be easy, But I understand, you might feel like you got the ups right now, but just hold on, on some reports, just hang in there, man.
Now we got to hold on to the line.
Yeah, but back to the New Orleans Pelicans and this whole situation that's swirling, with Zion, this number 2 overall pick. You brought up him possibly going to New York. What you think about that? You want to go play with RJ. Do you like that package they got over there in New York better?
The point I'm getting at is that's a fresh fire. That's not gonna happen. I just think they're throwing anything out there to keep the man out the media in a negative light.
I agree.
None of that's gonna happen. You got to understand. Y'all acting like this man signed a max contract last year. He just signed it. And all of a sudden, off the court problem gonna make them trade him. Y'all believe that? Like, let's put it like this.
Yeah, that's not true. Yeah, exactly.
Look, check
I want
this
you,
out.
boy.
Let's put it like this, right? Let's say him having porn stars have nothing to do with the franchise. If he go on child support, that don't have nothing to do with the franchise. So why would they want to trade him? Long as he performing on the court, which meaning, and look, he hasn't been doing that, but they didn't work with him to the point where now they paying him. He's forced to do that now. He got a kid on the way, so now he's not playing for himself no more. He have to play.
Man, it's about 22 teams out there will give Zion the same exact money the New Orleans Pelicans is giving him.
We not saying that. See, you taking it wrong. It's about who got the control in the
Yeah, that's they're not gonna rid of Zion. I told you the ticket sales and all of that. They're not gonna give that up. If they was gonna give that, they'd have done it a year ago. They're not gonna give that up, man.
And
You know
check
what I'm
this out.
saying?
Check this out. This is
But
something
also
else
look
too.
at the
Look, I'm
side
gonna show
that
you what the other
Zion might
cap
want out.
looking at. They were using Bi for example, right? Saying, "Oh, Bi, they might trade Bi, right?" These people passed up on Kevin Durant. You think they about to take something the Charlotte Hornets got? Y'all really think? Look, y'all can't forget
Word.
Last year, they was Kevin Durant. They wanted to make the trade for Kevin Durant from Brooklyn. They passed that up. And y'all think
Word.
they're gonna take something from Charlotte? Man,
And I
y'all
feel like Houston didn't even win out that deal. We getting Kevin Durant. They didn't win. That was a
Sky.
loss.
First of all, I don't know if the Pelicans passed it up, but Kevin Durant chose who he wanted to go to, and I don't know if the Pelicans was on his list. He had 3 teams, and nobody never mentioned Pelicans. I know it was Phoenix, Miami, and I can't recall the third team. So, Sky, we don't want you to start confabulating.
hold on.
Hello, Earth calling the panel.
Yeah, man. Sky out there, man, reporting from the levels of New Orleans, man. A lot of things go out there, like, people, man, they fishermen and they catch frogs, and I'll be watching that stuff. So what's the name? Come on, A&E, Swamp People. Yeah, they be out there, New Orleans and all of that. They be doing so flop. You know what I'm saying? He might be out there doing that, catching some sharks. We don't know, but we do know that Zion is winning his welcome out in New Orleans.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that has been published. So you're not wrong about that. That has been published. He's wearing his welcome out. So I would not be surprised if we don't see. Not it probably won't be before the trade deadline. Maybe after. They might have to make some issues because they're saying like, okay, you playing for us, but you're not playing. You out here doing this and that, and we can't get nothing out of you for the last 3 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's not how business works. They don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna say, we can't benefit from you. You gotta go. Mhm. You know what I'm saying? They would be okay. They was okay before Zion. They played without Zion during the
But
playoffs.
they
Now,
look good. They look good with Brandon Ingram running the shots too. I mean,
right,
don't
bro.
rule that out.
Right, bro. No, no, bro, you right. You know what I'm saying? So I was about to say that. Like, them keeping Brandon Ingram, Jose Alvarado, Herb, and all of them, I think they'd be all right. You know what I'm saying? Actually, Zion is not the player that, to me, that everybody thinks he is. To me, Zion is a product of this generation. He's a YouTube sensation. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even the number one player out of his state when he got drafted. You know what I'm
Look,
saying?
fine. Is this what I'm trying to tell them? They got one more year where they could run it back and they could gauge that before. If they say, "Hey, we're gonna trade Zion," it's not gonna be this year. It's gonna be next year for pieces. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not gonna be for no rookie.
And then you brought up a situation with him selling tickets. I mean, who's to say that Scoot Henderson won't be able to sell
Man,
tickets?
selling no tickets, man.
I mean, he's gonna sell tickets. He's gonna
Wait,
generate some initial hype.
this what you don't understand. Where are we gonna play him at?
You're gonna play him at the one.
I mean, we in the same position.
Listen, you're gonna start to move.
Look.
Listen,
That's how I
CJ
know.
done did it before. Eventually, you're gonna have to move on. Eventually, from him either.
Look,
If you pull the trigger on Zion, it's either gonna be a full rebuild or a soft rebuild. It's one or the other.
for the for the Charlotte fans, I don't even follow Charlotte, right? But they went over the scenarios, like I said. They even threw Rozier in there. Rozier money go up, and he on contract for 3 years. They say that can't happen. Because if they do dump Zion Williamson, they not trying to get money. They not trying to gain more salary cap. They trying to lose salary cap so they could pay Trey Murphy. He coming up in another year. They still got to play Herb Jones. He come up in another year. But they also got one more year where they can see if they're going to pay the luxury tax. They said that. If they based off of what they do this year. So they not about to just get rid of them. And how I'm looking at it, if they do that, they're going to get some pieces, but it's not going to be with Charlotte, and they're going to split Zion money up and extend Brandon Ingram because he going to be the face and pay all them other dudes and go get some pieces. I'm telling you to play, man. They gonna run that back, man. Y'all don't believe it.
I think Ingram is the face.
Man, they gonna run it back. Like y'all talking about Scoop. Why would they go get another short guard and they full of short guards? Why? He's 6'2". Why? What they gonna do with Jose Alvarado? What they gonna do with Kyra Lewis? CJ Short. What they gonna do? That's what I'm saying. It don't make sense. It's no different from like Charlotte. That's why Charlotte trying to don't scoot on us because really he's the second best pick, but they don't have no use for him. He's not a needed position for them. So they trying to use that as leverage to get something else what they need.
But what he breaking it down? What he making sense? What he breaking it down? Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to get something else that they need, so they trying to push
Gotcha.
it on us. Now,
Gotcha.
now, I'm not saying he's not the second best, but what I'm saying is, right now, the way this draft is going, y'all want us to give a player that's healthy, that scored 26 points a game for an unproven player, a point guard that we don't need. He don't even fill in the spot for Zion if we lose Zion. Who gonna pay power forward? That makes no sense.
Your man Najee Marshall, he been stepping up, man. He might be ready to take the mantle.
Man, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Najee Marshall, second team. He's not gonna go no further than the second team. What are you talking about? He's not gonna be a starter. Trey Murphy gonna be a starter before him. Jose Alvarado is not gonna be a starter. He's gonna lead the bench. So even if y'all say, hey, we gonna go get Scoop, that don't make sense. I don't think the Pelicans calling them people. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. That's all for hype to get the porn shit off Zion. Let's talk about the Pelicans and Zion being traded. At first it was B.I. What happened to B.I.?
I understand a little bit where you're coming from. Some of it makes sense. You know, it makes a whole lot of sense. So we're gonna find out though. We won't know until the goddamn draft. Because I think Zion gonna get traded on draft night if that was to happen. I don't know what you think about that. Yeah, he'll most likely get traded on draft night. But to your point, Sky, you got a lot of young pieces there that are ready to compete. So who knows what could happen? Like I said, I like Najee Marshall. I like you had your other guy Murphy. Any of these guys could be ready to step into a much more leadership on your team. But I'm just speaking if y'all was to move on from Zion Williamson. That's no guarantee that that's going to happen. But only time will tell. We won't know the draft night. I don't know Sky if he's still in there, but we won't know until draft night when the Hornets pick that second pick what they're gonna do with it.
Man, they're gonna go get Brandon Miller. Watch what I tell you.
I mean, that won't be. Let's see what happens. Whoever's the best player, that's the one they need to draft.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They play themselves if they get Scoop. Where they gonna play him at? That's a ready to play player. Where they gonna play him at? That don't
Shit, I
make
mean,
no sense.
I can't say that. I mean, listen,
Man,
they're
what
gonna.
sense is that? Where they gonna play him at?
If
Tell
he,
me where
if
they
he's,
gonna play him at. Who
I
he gonna?
mean,
Let's go with the starting five. Who spot he take?
you gonna move on from Terry? You talking about from the Hornets to y'all? You talking about
I'm
Charlotte now?
talking about Charlotte. Where he's gonna play if
I
Charlotte
think
pick it.
I think you're moving on from Terry.
Now who gonna take that contract? They
I
just was
mean,
talking about that.
listen.
That
Somebody
contract,
gonna take it. Everybody,
that
people
contract go
say that
up,
shit
man.
all the time. People
Man,
say
that
that shit all the
contract
time.
go up, man. That contract don't go down.
Listen, people say that all the time, man. Nobody gonna. Somebody always takes the contract. They'll find
Y'all trying to
somebody.
force y'all.
It's 29. It's 29 other teams. Somebody's gonna take the contract. I don't know
Man, that's
who.
a bad
It's somebody. Maybe
contract.
Detroit. Who knows? Somebody gonna take them.
Not for
Gonna
no
send them
Terry.
somewhere.
Not for no
Somebody
Terry.
gonna take the risk.
Man, Detroit
Might be.
rebuilding. They didn't win young. Terry ain't gonna be over there. Who gonna take him?
That's a good question, but somebody gonna take him. Man. I'm telling you. People always say the contract can't be moved. You can't. He's untradeable. They always figure out a way to take the deal.
That dude gonna be making $26 million. Terry Rozier ain't nobody trying to play him there, man.
Scary Terry.
And he got 3 years. Man, ain't nobody trying to pay that for no 3 years. It ain't go up. No indeed.
Yeah, that money is pretty pricey.
Not for no Terry Rozier. Ain't nobody paying that, man. He a 5-6 player. Ain't nobody paying that for no 6 player.
You say he a 6 player?
Man, boy, a 6 player on a real team. Boy, straight coming off the bench on there. He nothing but a Kelly Oubre. That's what he is.
I mean, he's a good. Listen. He all right. I mean, I heard that the Lakers were interested.
I'm not saying he's bad. He playing where he need to be playing on a bad team. He's starting.
Right.
But what I'm saying is on a good team. That dude ain't gonna start on no good team. You think he could play with the Celtics and start?
He don't need to start though.
That's
on a championship team, on a championship caliber team, Terry Rozier will be a guy coming off the bench giving him a big spark.
I'm not knocking his play.
Yeah.
I'm talking about somebody taking that money.
I mean, if he's gonna be in the league, he got to get paid, right?
It's a difference from being overpaid. He's overpaid.
Now, somebody gonna take that contract though. A team that thinks they can win a championship will take that contract.
Name a team that's gonna take that contract. Y'all said that.
But I don't know. I don't work in the league offices, my man.
Y'all said that for God he would. He on his last year now. Y'all said that for God he would. Right? Ain't y'all said that for God he would? He gone?
Maybe the organization didn't want to move on from Gordon Hayward.
Oh man,
have you thought that out? We the fans probably wanted him out, but the organization didn't.
Oh man, here you go with the fans. Who the dude don't even
Bro,
play.
you just said, ain't that what y'all said? You talking about fan talk. What you mean?
Man, what I'm saying is
you talking about fan talk, and then you're gonna say there he go with the fans.
Why they play Gordon Hayward all them years? You don't think they try to get off that bad contract? He a max player. You wouldn't even go there in the clutch.
I think you can get off Terry Rozier contract. I think you probably could have got off Gordon Hayward contract.
Man, name a team.
I don't think the organization wanted to move on from Gordon Hayward. I think they was attached to Gordon Hayward based on their
on what?
Their approach to even acquiring Gordon Hayward, to throw out that kind of money to come to the Charlotte. It just so happens they drafted Lamelo Ball that same year, and Lamelo Ball just happened to pan out. And this is why the organization officially, and coming from Michael Jordan's voice, that Lamelo Ball exceeded all expectation. So they probably even have that much expectation for Lamelo Ball. You know what I'm saying? And to show that they didn't have that much expectation for Lamelo Ball when he got drafted, they had a presser and Mitch Kupchak had the nerve to fix his mouth to say he has to earn it. He just can't come in and garner minutes. These things will have to be earned, and we're a veteran first team, and everything else rolls downhill, and blah blah this and blah blah that. Now I'm gonna ask you: do you think Mix Kupchak, once he draft Scoot Henderson, he's going to say the same exact thing? He's going to come out with a press conference about his second overall pick in the first round, which will be higher than the Lamelo Ball pick, that he's going to have to earn it, and he's going to have to show maturity and all this other flibber flabber? I doubt it. So that's why the appendage of Gordon Hayward was crucial to the Charlotte Hornets. It just so happens we knew he was Mr. Glass, but they took the chance and they rolled the dice, and it didn't pan out too well.
Ain't nobody
because just like Zion, even though Gordon Hayward probably played more games, but just like Zion, the money man Gordon Hayward was not available when Charlotte needed him the most.
Better too. You talking about they got that man on the max that was a veteran to a rookie.
They
What do you-
probably
You said
didn't
what?
want to give up the lottery pick to move with Gordon Hayward either.
Y'all don't even
That's
have
another
a
thing.
pick for
Nor they want to give up that kicker, right? That trade kicker. I mean,
Right.
it was just
Right.
they did it for Mason Plumlee finally, but for Gordon Hayward, you got to understand, these guys operate off ego. I mean, you guys got to understand this. When you're dealing with large money, you operate most of these multi-millionaires and billionaires is operating off ego. They don't want nobody to feel that they failed, nor do they want to absorb that kind of frequency that they fail. So they will hold on and try to put something in their head that this, there's other options, there's other routes that we can take, even though it didn't go right the first time. We'll wait till we get healthy. He will get us into the playoffs. And then you never get that. This is why a lot of teams hold on too long to their sentimental draft picks, because who wants to admit, I failed, I fucked up? You know what I'm saying? I read that wrong. It was an oversight somewhere that I just didn't get. You know what I'm saying? These people think they are the most elites of the world in the vectors that they operate in. So they not want to admit that they failed. So with the Gordon Hayward, when that organization threw all that money at Gordon Hayward and it didn't pan out the first 2 years, you think they want to admit that they actually failed after giving up that much money? That's an exuberant amount of money.
Man, we gonna be laughing at the Charlotte Hornets on draft night too. Guaranteed. They done made another stupid, dumb decision like always. We know that.
Well, they got the number 2 pick though. See, that's the thing. Charlotte have leverage. They have the number 2 pick, and they're listening to who wants Scoot more. Do they want Scoot more than the Charlotte Hornets? They have to prove it.
Hey, tell me.
And right now, the Pelicans are saying we might want Scoot more than you want him.
So you think they got leverage?
What's the smart
Of
thing?
course, they got the number 2 pick. What you mean?
So you
Hey,
think
Dex, I want him to tell us what the smart thing is for the Hornets to do.
they don't have none smart?
So that's crazy.
You saw them people play last year? All right then.
But and listen, let's keep it in perspective with the Charlotte Hornets. We know they're not really a good team. They're not no title contenders. We know that by far. But they're not nothing you just sneeze at. They won a lot of games against a lot of teams in very crucial moments in those teams' playoff run. So we know Charlotte can beat teams. And if Charlotte wasn't riddled with the injury bug, they definitely would have been a play-in team. The way they was going, remember they won like 6 straight. No, 4. No, what they win? How many games they win straight? Like 6. Yeah, I think they won 6 straight when Lamelo came back off his injury. So we know they can string some wins along, and we know winning is the web of life. So if they're healthy and have their team all together and not be discombobulated and run around with like chickens without their heads trying to figure out how to win games, I think the Charlotte Hornets would do pretty good. And remember, Cliffy wasn't their first choice at coach, and so that coaching debacle fell in on Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Charlotte went into the draft without a coach, so it was a lot of things that was a whirlwind going backwards or a tangent that they caught themselves in, and they still somewhat tried to fight themselves out of until they just said, you know what, shut it down. Let's go and get us the highest draft pick that we can get. But even though they were still being competitive, they wasn't just getting blown out.
Dex, I got a question for you since you saying that. Being honest, bro, who got the most leverage right now?
As far as what?
Period.
No. Well, I mean, what are you referring to? Because you could be referring to something different than I'm thinking.
Who could hang up on who and they be straight?
Oh, it doesn't matter. The New Orleans Pelicans is a better team by far.
You could ask that question, answer that question. Who could hang up and it's not going to affect them?
Either team.
No.
Yeah, because you know why? You know why either team? Hold on, let me explain. Because they still have the number 2 pick. If the Pelicans don't want it, somebody else might come up with something. You know what I'm saying? You still got Boston up there.
People who want the number 2.
Don't sleep on Boston.
Why they ain't saying who else want this number 2 pick? Why they ain't saying who else? But the Pelicans then.
Well, because the New Orleans Pelicans called Charlotte. Charlotte didn't go fetching the pick. They already know who they want. That's why Charlotte ain't talking. You guys the one that's starting the conversation.
Also, Fox Sports has not put down anything. They haven't denied anything. That Fox in general has reported that the Pelicans are interested in Scoot. So I don't know what this brother's talking about.
What Fox you talking about?
Fox.
You talking about national Fox or local?
Yeah, national.
Local, you're Fox.
I'm talking about local Fox.
You need to show. You need to post that a link then, because ain't no link that I saw.
You ain't go to
Let
Fox.
me see that source.
Go to WDSU. I mean, that's channel 6. Go to WVUE local.
Fox is channel 8.
Put Go to that and you'll see.
I'm on here right now.
Yeah, Fox is channel 8, and Fox did bring up something about. To be honest, to bring up something about the New Orleans Pelicans are interested in the top 2. I mean the 2 and the 3 pick.
The 2 most
they did mention
things that were posted by Fox to do with Zion was when his stepfather appeared at an event and responded to social media, and Zion saying and his dad saying, "I stand by my son." They ain't post nothing about that potential trade.
And what that was for?
What you mean what that was for?
No, when that was posted.
Yeah, like what day?
June 8th.
June 8th, right?
I think they posted something since then.
Well, let me see it.
If I'm not mistaken.
Dude, we're crazy, man.
I'm trying to find it. I'm on Fox 8 and I search Zion in the toolbar, and these are the newest results that pop up.
Okay, well maybe it wasn't Fox. Yeah, they talking about Boosie, so
yeah, they talking about Boosie. They ain't talking about Zion. So what is this brother talking about? I need that source.
I'm gonna give you this source then.
Please.
I gotta look for it. I'm on here.
Go ahead, look for it, because brothers be just saying anything.
I'm telling you, hold on.
It might have been a different Fox then. Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't New Orleans. It could have been.
Hey, Fox Smocks. I just want to see the link. That's all.
I'm about to look for it. I gotta look for it.
Yeah, because I did see something on Fox, but I don't know if it was Fox 8 or if it was Baton Rouge Fox. Do Baton Rouge and New Orleans have the same Fox? You go to sports. Yeah, here we go. I got it right here. I got it. I found it. But what the Fox did was,
go ahead and read it.
They said report Pelicans strongly considering moving up draft board, targeting Scoot Henderson. And what they did was repress the article from the Athletics basically, and the person from Fox is Jesse Brooks, and it said that the Athletic report said that trading for the Hornets' number 2 pick will likely come at a steep price for the Pelicans, who can offer a large package of picks for Henderson plus young players. The report also
Told
said
you.
that a deal could cost New Orleans either one of their franchise star, Brandon Ingram, or Zion Williamson. This is coming straight from Fox 8,
Yeah.
New Orleans,
You think they go,
Louisiana.
So
and
what this brother talking about, man?
what you think they going at them with? No
Hold on. You gotta address
picks.
that, brother.
Picks. What you talking about?
I mean, you got a lot to unpack. You got to understand who you're dealing with, Spike. You're dealing with Sky. We used to him
I'm
because
trying to get
Sky
it
was
straight.
saying there's
I'm trying
nothing
to get
coming
it
out of
straight
New
up and
Orleans, and
down,
we
man.
kept saying it is. So they have an article specifically stating names. You know what I'm saying? It's not no guessing in who they're talking about. They're talking about dealing with the New Orleans Pelicans, and keep in mind it said Pelicans strongly considering moving up. You follow what I'm saying? And then after the semi hyphen, it says targeting Scoot Henderson. So they know who they want and who they have to deal with to get that. And we've been saying it for the past 2 days, but the 504 boys is telling us that we're reading into something that's not there. There's nothing here, just move on. And we said, no, there's there. So they said, oh, that's an outside media. We're like, no, it's inside media for you guys. You know what I'm saying? So I saw something on NOLA.com and I saw something on Fox 8. That's why I said I remember reading it. I just had to go find it. And it's there. And the article was updated June 13th, 2023 at 7:03 a.m. So they was on it early. You know what I'm saying? So that's how important they felt that to get on it early and get that message up out there that the Pelicans are trying to do something. And then not only that, they express, according to this article, they have expressed boldly that the report also said that a deal could cost New Orleans either one of their franchise star, Brandon Ingram or Zion Williamson. So they are reporting this in NOLA, the boot. It's not like we making this up, and that's why you guys was the 504 boys is kind of hammering me a little bit, making it seem like I'm doing some confabulation, whereas there's nothing there. So move on.
See, this is
But
why I press them for the source, because once you press a brother for the source, now you start seeing what's really going on. He was pushing the narrative.
Purple Baby's back in the house.
Hello.
Yeah, did you hear that article I just read?
Yeah, I mean, I seen it. I seen the articles already.
Okay, you seen it. Okay, but Purple Baby, if you saw the article, you never brought that to our attention.
I mean, I seen it when I woke up earlier today.
Oh, today. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like they was talking about not Scoop. No, the Charlotte media was talking about Scoop's workout and stuff like that. And then, I seen the Brandon Ingram and stuff like that, like this situation. And with new CBA, it's a CBA issue, I think, with the Pelicans because y'all know, like the two max player slot things. I think the rest of McCollum's deal, because I know he was in a max player slot when he was in Portland, but I think his money, it's they really can't keep all three of them, so they got to move somebody. Because I think,
Oh, okay.
yeah, like he's still making. I don't know how to put it. Like he making max money, and you can't
When
know
is
what to
CJ's
ask you.
contract up?
Huh?
When CJ's contract is up?
Oh, I forgot. I think in 2025 or 6, something like that. Because I was surprised when I went and looked. I said, dang, I didn't realize Portland had traded him. Like, I don't even paying attention to Portland like that, but I was like, dang, he got a lot of money. He got a lot of money left, and he in the 30s, like 33 and stuff like that. So I was like, dang. Like,
Yeah, the New Orleans Pelicans got a heavy bag on their hand because
Yeah.
you still have the Valanciunas, you have two max players in Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, and then you have a mini max with CJ McCullough.
And next year
yeah.
is CJ's last season.
So that's a heavy bag. So I understand why they might looking to move off because they're not winning a championship and they're paying two max players in a small market. That's a heavy bag right there. That's a heavy bag. And the way that the Denver Nuggets demolished the Miami Heat, I'm quite sure nobody in Pelican organization can see the Pelicans being beyond beatable, especially with Denver is still healthy and young. That's an ugly scenario for the Pelicans, and they're putting out a lot of money. I'm talking about excruciating amount of painful money they putting out in their players, and they're not getting into the second round.
yeah.
Shout out to Hoop Jargon. So that's a real fishy situation.
I understand the NBA trying to do something about like the three max players and stuff like that, but for them, like most of your teams is like paying guys out. I don't understand. Like I think that new rule. I'm surprised the players agreed to it because I just don't understand like where they supposed to go. Like if they already, you know, taking up a slot because that's what's going on with Golden State, basically.
Well, but
With
Golden State
Draymond
is
and
winning.
Clay.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Golden State is
they,
the hegemony of sovereignty.
I know, but they still can't afford to bring back Clay and Draymond,
Right
especially since
after they
they
lost, in the second round, yeah, they can do that. But if they would have went to the NBA Finals and lost, they still might run it back. But by them losing the second round, okay, time to give up the ghost.
but the money they can't do. They literally can't do that. Not with the new CBA that starting next season. They can't do that.
Right. No, I'm saying that that's not a problem with them no more. You follow what I'm saying? Because they lost in the second round, and it looks like it's going to be a new era of basketball in the Western Conference. And it looks like Denver is leading the chorus on that, right? So Golden State breaking up, it's no biggie for them right now. Now, if they were still winning, then that could cause a conundrum.
Um, to answer your question, the guy that answered the question, he got he got 3 years left on his contract. CJ
Talking about
McCollum.
CJ.
Yeah, he making next season he'll be making 35, and then
Ooh,
it goes down to 33 and then 30. But
wait
he's
a minute, Purple, 35?
next year.
Oh my God, I didn't know CJ was making it like that.
Yeah, because I remember Portland had paid him.
I could have
I
sworn CJ was in like the high 20s or early 30s, like 31 or 28. I didn't know he was at 30 freaking
uh,
5. He's right behind Westbrook.
last season he made 33.
Oh my goodness. You know how much money that's an exorbitant amount of money. And they're not even getting past the first
And
round.
Ingram's contract, instead of it going down, Ingram's contract goes up.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
I know Zion got the little clause and stuff, but his contract also goes up.
You just revealed something to me and you just popped an atom in my head. So I can see why David Griffin could possibly trigger a trade for that second pick because Scoot is a dynamic player. You know what I'm saying? He's very flashy. We know Zion is flashy, but Zion has become a pestilence and a sore eye to the New Orleans fans, right? Then you bring in Bank of America trying to expand out of Charlotte into to New Orleans, that's another issue because we already know they tied with Charlotte. They tied in with Charlotte. That's their financial backing. They're tied in with Charlotte, and to get Zion out of that situation, so it can look like a smooth transition for the financial aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Behind closed doors, the financial aspect of it, because Zion is becoming what you consider a loss in the fans' face as a fan favorite. So they putting Brandon Ingram up above Zion, where at one time Zion was above Brandon Ingram, and now with the off court situation that he's in, I'm not calling it a problem. I'm just saying it's a situation. New Orleans probably do not want that in their locker room. You know what I'm saying? And they could be looking at Zion as a cancer, not a verbal cancer, but a lifestyle cancer because it's out in the open. Even though we know NBA players do this all the time, but not get out there where they can ruin their reputation and their character because Zion supposed to be appealing to young kids. So this could be more than what we expect now that you broke down that CJ McCullough contract alongside Brandon Ingram. That's a lot of money they throwing out. And Zion's not even on the court.
And to look at it, if counting next year, Brandon Ingram actually, if you don't count next year, which is the 23-24 season, Brandon's but Sky had mentioned this though. Brandon is expiring. So his last year is the 2024-2025 season. If they don't re-up him.
Wow, that is insane. And I don't know if Gil Benson is willing to shove that type of money out for that basketball team. So he could be out sooner than expected. This thing can really grow legs and take off because that's a lot of money, and we already know it's a bottom line sport, right?
Yeah. What have you done for me lately? It's a key thing.
That's crazy.
And do you know what the cap is going? I always forget the cap. It's 160, right? Like the normal cap, right?
Right.
Ooh. They at 157.
And look, Purple Baby, you own something because you still got Larry Nance.
Yeah.
You know, what they're gonna do with Jackson Hayes? I think they paid Willie Hertzogoma. I think they paid him already.
Let me see if I can see.
They paid Najee Marshall. Wow.
That Najee only making. He'll expire at the same time Brandon Ingram is, but he making net going into next season. He'll be making 1.7 million.
Oh, I thought they gave him an extension.
I don't see it on here.
Oh, I thought Najee got an extension. I thought they signed him.
He got one more year left after that, and he gonna be making 19.
Right. Okay. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Not 19. Yeah. No, it's not 19. I'm reading.
No, I don't think he's making that much. I think he was like about 14 or something.
No. Yeah. 1.9 million.
Wow. Joey said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Hornets get Zion, to be honest. Like, no shock in me because of MJ. Yeah, we talked about that, Joey. That connection.
I'm not saying, I just think, I understand he's disgruntled, but it has to, like, the stuff got to line up. I do agree with Scott on that. Like, it has to be beneficial. And then you got to think about, I don't know if they still got the, like, fair use rule or whatever it is where, the competition, not the competition, but the, like, when you trade a player like the commissioner could, what's the name, veto it if he feel like it's not going to be fair to the Pelicans, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If he don't feel like the compensation in return is enough.
Because see, the thing of it is, we have to insert Willie Green in this, and Willie Green is I I won't say he doesn't tolerate much. You know, Willie Green is all about basketball. And if you can't control your life where some of your flaws spill out onto the basketball court from your private life, this don't sit well with Willie Green. And Willie Green gonna quickly tell you that's where you're wrong at, young man. You can't bring that mess into this silo, this locker room. You can't. You have to separate your personal life from your basketball life because once you're on this court, young man, we are your family. Nothing else exists. We are your family. It's basketball or nothing. Like LeBron James told Lonzo, keep the main thing the main thing. Don't keep the main thing outside of basketball. You know, no. When you're on this court getting paid that much money to perform in front of these beautiful fans down here in NOLA, you got to stay focused and concentrate on what goes on between that 94 feet parquet floor. And he failed, Zion I'm talking, miserably when it came to that. I mean, his freaking future is just melting in his hands as we speak. Somebody have to restore this young man. And maybe a new location just might be what he need and can reinvigorate his image. Because when you dealing with pornography and you have youngsters looking up to you that can't even go to the store and purchase pornography, that is not a good look. And the NBA frowns on that. And Willie Green, I know for certainly frowns on that. Good God-fearing man and Willie Green. You know what I'm saying? And we already seen some discontent coming from Willie Green when it came to Zion Williamson last season, where they asked Willie Green about Zion Williamson. And he said, I'm only worried about the players that are here. When he gets here, then we will deal with that. But I'm only concerned about the players that are here. He didn't send out no well wishes for Zion. That's how stern Willie Green is. I mean, he was a tenacious basketball player when he played with the Philadelphia 76ers on side of Allen Iverson, and he became a journeyman after that. But he always kept a job because he always stayed professional. And so the things that Willie Green have shared based on his experience in the NBA, Zion didn't hear him, or Zion just flat out disregarded it. So David Griffin enjoys Zion just like we do. We enjoy watching Zion. David Griffin enjoyed watching Zion. We've been watching Zion since high school. But Willie Green is a, you know, he got to coach a team to keep his family fed. So he has to focus on who's there and not waste no energy on who's not there. So right there between Zion and Willie Green, that has to be mended. And if that can't be mended, then this is going to be a locker room cancer. And they call that a fungus among us. Zion got to get it together, man. That's bad. I didn't know CJ was making that type of money. So CJ got some say-so around there. It's not like he just a lame duck. When you make that kind of money and you have that many years in the league and you show signs of leadership and you bring in new culture to the New Orleans Pelicans, because the former coach of the New Orleans Pelicans, Alvin Gentry, called it a dumpster fire. That's what the coach called that organization, a dumpster fire. And so he goes out. Then they bring in a new coach who wants to change the philosophy of their approach to every game. And they tuned him out. They tuned him out to the point that he was a one-hitter quitter. Stan Van Gundy. A one-hitter quitter with that talented team and that talented roster. He couldn't even move nothing. And David Griffin fired his friend because they are friends. He fired him. And they brought in Willie Green. They brought in C.J. McCollum at the break, and it started to turn and it started to develop into a cohesive unit. And everybody was comrades among each other. They was digging their foxholes individually, but they'll come out of that foxhole and unite and fight as a unit. And Zion had no partake in that. That's what they're missing. See, we know a lot of people have recency bias. They forget. How quickly do they forget that Zion had no part in the Pelicans' sporadic run into the playoffs? They won 2 playing games, 2 nice playing games, playing good basketball, and propelled themselves into a first round matchup with the Phoenix Suns. And they battled the Phoenix Suns, who was the number 1 seed overall in the West. I think maybe overall in the league, the Phoenix Suns. And they snuck 2 games away from the Phoenix Suns, playing good basketball. Zion was not a part of that. Zion was not a part of them getting into the play-in. But Zion was a part of them being the number 1 seed. And I think that's where you get the perplexity of his situation. And it's causing a dynamic amongst the organization. Yes, he wasn't part of our playoff run, but he did get us to the number 1 seed. It was early in the season, but we got the number 1 freaking seed of the Western Conference. He goes down, we slide. But we hang on to make the play-in and then get butt whipped. I'm talking about wiped by the freaking Oklahoma City Thunder, the boys on the red clay. So this weighs heavily in David Griffin head. This probably weighed heavily in Trajan Langdon head. Trajan Langdon, ex-Dookie, coached by the same coach as Zion, Coach K. So there's a lot of dynamics surrounding Zion, but now this Bank of America deal that's coming through, it's going to be for hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe billions, depending on, how it all turns out. They probably want a clean slate in New Orleans. They don't want to come in and invest, and then it's a bunch of, tomfoolery going on behind closed doors. And Zion could be the pivotal point of the tomfoolery. At the same time, he's supposed to be the face of the franchise, climbing to be the face of the NBA. You got to keep all that in mind. I know this is not my team, and it's other people's team, and they try to fence in a narrative that really don't fully apply. It semi applies, but they don't fully apply because they're not looking at the whole picture, because they are subject to the situation, not object to the situation, protecting their brand, their team that they cheer for. But they might not see the sleight of hand that's going on with this big old merger coming in with one of the biggest banks in the world. And they probably don't want nobody messing with their bread. And they want this to be a nice, good old boy team. Nobody fussing, nobody cussing, being examples to the nice little kids that's looking up to you. And we don't know if these big oligarchs are saying we can't make a deal with all this pornography stuff going on. Because you got to remember, these are Bible Belt people down here in Charlotte and Louisiana. At least that's what they claim. You know what I'm saying? Holy rollers. These are holy rollers down here. That don't sit well with them. They're, most of it is Catholic down in Louisiana. I think Catholics outweigh Protestants in numbers. That's why it's parishes and all that type of stuff, dealing with the French. But nevertheless, it just could be a whole lot going on down in the dirty, the boot, Louisiana's bayous. When it comes to Zion, that's way more than how we feel about him as a player in that a proximity of the United States. So we got to keep that in mind. This money merger that's going on, and a lot of times when that amount of money is being talked about, we don't. I mean, they don't. Not we don't. They don't want to have any kind of smudge coming into a situation. They want it to be squeaky clean, and that way they can promote it the way they want to promote it, and not try to shield anybody dirty version of their lifestyle. So that could be very, 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 very crucial, and why the Pelicans all of a sudden have shown strongly consideration moving up the draft board and specifically targeting Scoot Henderson. Because when you look at Scoot, he's coming with a clean image, but he's coming with a ferocity that's unmatched in the draft. Even Wembanyama don't have that ferocity of a Scoot Henderson. But he's coming clean. He's coming ready. He's coming for his business. And he already have a bag to a certain degree of fanfare. And Scoot played with grown men, not college boys, like everybody else in the draft. Well, not everybody, most of the draft coming out of collegiate sports. He played with the G League. You had to play to eat every day, not skip class and go to the beach, skip class and go downtown and get you some gelato, not skip class and go and have fun with girls, and on the weekend have frat parties and, the toga thing and all that kind of stuff they do in college. And not worry about your bills because your bills are being paid either by the alumni or what they call them boosters, or some under the table with the actual school. Scoot didn't deal with that. If Scoot didn't play well, he was going to be benched. If Scoot didn't play well, his teammates, grown men, is going to dig into him because they're depending on his leadership on the floor to get them the ball in order for them to put up stats that will turn into a contract in the NBA and be on a roster. That's the type of responsibility and pressure that Scoot Henderson was on. And he thrived. He welcomed that pressure. This is what you want on your team. And this is probably why the Pelicans are strongly considering moving up the draft board, targeting Scoot Henderson, and willing to part ways with Zion. Because you can get Scoot and some goodies. And let Zion go on his merry way with his unique lifestyle and probably go into a more of a liberal town. I know New Orleans is Democrat, but they go both ways sometimes. They go Democrat, they go Republican. It just depends how the wave of the politics in Louisiana. But one thing about it, the overwhelming majority of them are very religious people. And that don't sit well. We know that he without seeing cast the first stone. We understand that dynamic. And we know that he who lives in a glass house shouldn't be throwing rocks. We know that. But at the same time, this is what they present to their fan base. Clean, squeaky clean guys, no problems, that's willing to play. We are a good old boy state. New Orleans could be Democrat from time to time, but normally the whole of New Orleans is red. It's a red state. So this doesn't, and that's the only basketball team that's there for the NBA. So they don't have any body to compete with. They got all the way from the top of New Orleans. I mean, excuse me, from the top of Louisiana all the way down to the bottom, and that's what they consider the boot. So that could be a very telltale sign from the New Orleans Pelicans executive branch that they do not want that kind of behavior being exposed and accepted in their town. So Zion could be on the move. I noticed the article did mention Brandon Ingram, but they don't have no qualms with Brandon Ingram. Only thing they had with Brandon Ingram was his blood clots, and that seemed to be in check. That was the only thing that gave them cause to pause was his health, his blood clots. With Zion, you have health and lifestyle as a reason or a cause to pause. So you got a combination of two things affecting this young man. Can he overcome it? He's a black man. Black man can overcome anything. We know this. But will he overcome it? Could he get back his character, his image? Could it be marketable again? Because if you're not marketable, then what good are you for a small market? You have to be marketable to be in a small market when you're a number one pick, a number one overall pick. So that is another thing. Normally, when these type of situation happens across the sports landscape, there's a new location for you to start all over again, to take a deep breath, to wipe your forehead as a sigh of relief that you can start all over again, that you will have a second chance to make a first impression. And I think this is only commentary, and I think this will sit well with Zion to have a second chance to make a first impression. And damn it, I'm telling you, Zion is going to make a hell of a first impression after giving a second chance. Spike Purple, you want to chime in?
Uh, I mean, I will see. I don't think the Hornets are gonna have what is needed. I do feel more comfortable with the Knicks. My only question is like Julius Randle. So I think it's gonna be a three-team trade regardless of where he goes. You know, but I don't think they have. You know, it's not to me. It's not smart when you don't have your 2024 pick. It's not like the Hornets are the Lakers. You shouldn't. You need insurance if that makes sense. But if Zion is all clear and he healthy and he ready to play and his mindset is right, you're hands down getting a better player out that deal. So I think Griffin is gonna work some magic if he do get sent there. That's an interesting comment. I just don't see. I don't think giving them an expiring Gordon Hayward, which they don't need because they got Murphy and Herb Jones over there already, and you would still arguably have Brandon Ingram on your roster, 6'1", 6'2", however tall Terry Rozier is. I don't think that's enough, and I think that's a trade that'll get vetoed.
Is Spike, are you available? But basically, we want to shout out everybody that's viewing Flight Sports TV, the stream. We've been highlighting the situation of Zion. I choose to call it a situation than a problem. And we've been highlighting Scoot Henderson, his availability, his workout with the Hornets. And we also been highlighting Lamelo Ball, the golden child, based on him being a part of the scenario by default because he's a member of the Charlotte Hornets. And how will the duty of LaMelo Ball fit in with Scoot? How will the duty of LaMelo Ball fit in with Zion? And if the Charlotte Hornets are able to acquire Zion, who will the Charlotte Hornets have to give up? What pieces will have to be separated from their roster as it is currently constructed? Who is wanted? Who in the Charlotte Hornet uniform is wanted in the trade market? That is a crucial question as well. We can throw out any names, but that'll mean they are being summoned or their services are being rendered. And this is a problem because we know the Jordan boys, Mike, Larry, James, wants to defy the myth that black men are incapable of facilitating a successful franchise. They trying to decapitate that narrative because in the past, that narrative seemed to be more fact than myth. That narrative seemed to be more legendary than actual improvement. So I'm behind the brothers, the Jordan brothers. I'm behind them, wanting them to decapitate the false narrative that black men in the position of power and authority cannot get it right. So this is why I have been hammering the nail into the executive discerning decisions of the Charlotte Hornets upper echelon. Because I want them to get it right because I know who's up there. And when Commissioner Adam Silver threw his hand after Mikey Jeffrey Jordan commenced to the commissioner, I'm going to get it right. Bear with me. I'm going to get it right. So Adam Silver, okay, we're going to give you the number 2 pick. We're going to see what you're going to do with it. And now a lot of, I won't say a lot of teams, but teams has spreaded their tentacles into the area of the Charlotte Hornets, the Queen City. And to get a feel of how important the number 2 pick is to the Charlotte Hornets organization. And as the days unfurl, this draft will have a telltale sign of what serious direction the Charlotte Hornets is going to endeavor with LaMelo Ball at the helm. Most of the pieces that's surrounding LaMelo Ball right now will not be there. But we know that DeMarc Williams will be there. We know that Miles Bridges is going to be there. They're not even talking Miles Bridges. But we know because they're not talking about him. They're not talking about pushing him away. So most likely, if they're not talking about him in the form of poetry, no news is good news. And that's same in the field park of public relations. No news is good news. There's a situation with PJ Washington. But what I did notice, I was watching a Ball Facts video. I was watching a Ball Facts video. Yes, he has a latest video out. And in that video, it was basically showing the Charlotte Hornets. And they try to make light of the video. Now, I don't know if it was editing involved or not, but I'm just going by what I've seen on Ball Facts channel concerning LaMelo Ball. In that video, it talked about being a class clown. And most everybody said LaMelo was a class clown when they interviewed the teammates. But one teammate I did not see, and that was Gordon Hayward. I did not see Gordon Hayward being a part of that interview. Now, I could be reading into something, or I could not be reading into something. Maybe Gordon Hayward had other obligation when it came time for that media spat. Or it just could have been a video where Gordon Hayward was just out in injury when they recorded the video. Because I don't know what the timeline is. I just know Ball Facts put out a new video and I seen it. But if that's any indication of how the Charlotte Hornets are going to be constructed, that means Gordon Hayward could fill up some of the money gaps in a contract that will land Zion Williamson up under his guy and could be mentored by none other than Mikey himself. That could be Zion confidant. Bring the kid over here. I'll show him how to do it up under the spotlight. Because who did it better than Mike up under the spotlight, right? We know Mike wasn't no angel on the court. And of all the things that Mike had endeavored in, air quotes, gambling appeared to be the worst. And that was only speculative for those on the outside. But those on the inside, where we had one brother that came that actually knew what was going on the inside with Mike, they know. So that's why we have to look at this thing from bigger than what it is, because we know that if we want to be conspiratorial, after the Anthony Davis debacle and the New Orleans Pelicans uniform, they traded, they got the young core from the Lakers, and then all of a sudden they get the number one draft of the prize draft in Zion Williamson. When the New Orleans Pelicans were kind of financially shaky, they get the prize. They get the polarizing athlete coming out of Duke, Zion Williamson. A Southern draw, because he's from South Carolina. So he's definitely a Southern draw went to a Southern team in a Southern state. Can't make that up, right? Couldn't be better scripted than that. It wasn't like he was a West Coast kid. It wasn't like he was an East Coast kid or some kid up north. No, he's a Southern boy going to a Southern team in a Southern state. As the buzz of the NBA draft for that season, 2019, I believe. 2007, 18, 19, whatever draft that was. He was the buzz of that draft. A Southern boy going to a Southern state, playing for a Southern team. It was a perfect match made in heaven. You couldn't script it better than that. I'm talking Spike Lee couldn't write it better than that. I'm talking about John Singleton couldn't write it better than that. So we know it was some fadangling going on. And now, after the NBA have curated that situation, this is what you're going to do for Zion? Really? Zion, this is how you're going to treat us? Really? We know you wanted to go to New York, but we had a situation in New Orleans that needed to be repaired immediately. Because it's money involved, it's investors involved, it's sponsorship involved. And New Orleans is a beautiful city. Outside of, the Negroes tearing it up and, acting a fool, being in the top 10 of the most dangerous city in America. But outside those parameters, it's a beautiful city. Food galore, friendliness. The French Quarter is like none other. It could rival Amsterdam depending on what part of the French Quarters you go to. A family atmosphere. And Zion, you really gonna do that? You gonna do that to the city? You gonna play us like that? You got your money. So you think you got your money and now you paid, you're in the contract, so that can give you leverage because you already signed. So if anybody want to trade for you, David Griffin already did the work. We ain't got to do no negotiation. We ain't got to do no extra talk. We ain't got to offer you perks. We ain't got to offer you a diva life. It's already been done in your contract. Now, we can rearrange some things and reword some things, and we can take out the fat boy clause if we choose to. Because that seemed to be disturbing you big time, that fat boy clause. And it's making you angry at times. It's creating anxiousness when you look over and that Boudin is sitting there smoking in the arcrit smoke.
Come on,
and
Dex.
his flavor,
Come on, Dex.
and his flavor coming off of that bread. I know it gets the best of you. Spike, help me out, Spike, because I don't know where I'm going with this.
Brother,
it can get the best of you. You know that you cannot be a certain weight or you could just disrupt millions of dollars. I want out. You guys are too conservative for my lifestyle. I need to be somewhere where it's more liberal. And New York is definitely a liberal place. But if I can't get to New York, maybe I can get up under my confidant, Michael Jordan, and he can smooth some of this out and help me navigate through these shark-infested waters. Because boy, are there sharks out there. I'm talking about sharks and whales. Ready to gobble this young man up. Because he cannot control his tallywhacker. He's reckless, and we know it. And he's not afraid to sleep in it. So Zion, I don't think he's going to do any kegels. I'm talking about male kegels. He's not going to do any male kegels. So that pullout game is weak as fuck. And this is what you get when you don't do male kegel. Zion, nobody didn't tell you because your parents got kind of old. So I understand. They probably have the birds and the bees talk with you. But none of your comrades didn't tell you. Act like you riding a bicycle. Think about butterflies. Do not squeeze off inside that. You must hold your grits for a good, wholesome woman. But the damage is done. You already exceeded your boundaries. And now the bed you made is the bed you have to lay in. And who can help you know who can help you more than Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan had a few rendezvous. He's not squeaky clean. But the NBA, they shielded him. And if you can get up under his clutches, maybe, just maybe, he just might have the magic wand to get you out of your situation and repair your image. And that way, you might not ever be the face of the NBA, but you could be damn near close. And that could be good enough for the NBA. And you could be marketed in certain regions of America and the globe, like Africa and Arabia. You'd be a poster boy there for your lifestyle. You want a harem? Okay, we're going to market you to the Emirates. We're going to market you to the Arabian Peninsula. You want a harem? We definitely can market you to Africa, the second largest continent according to mainstream history or archaeology or geology. The second largest continent because you got plenty of black males with numerous women, and it's acceptable. So you could still be marketed, but you just have limitations around your marketability. But with being in the shadows of Michael Jordan and next to Lamelo Ball, it could be a grand thing. I mean, can you imagine the eye candy with that combination? Lamelo Ball can actually, if Zion is healthy, finish off what his big brother wasn't able to finish. And that is having that connection with two stars that was stars since they was high schoolers in the public arena basically all their lives. The Michael Jackson syndrome. And he can probably help navigate you as well to keep what's off the court, and keep what's on the court. And that ancient old adage, keep the main thing the main thing. Don't go off looking for dessert. Just keep the main thing the main thing. And then when that part of the show is over, you can trope off the court all you want. But don't bring scandal to your image, and you're not dunking the basketball to balance the scandal. That's what's important. So right now, the media wave is on the scales of balance is imbalance with negativity because you're not balancing it with positivity by dunking that ball, getting out on the court, winning games, make people cheer for you, make people money for betting on your player performance and parlay. I mean, we got to keep it 100, man. We at Flight Sports TV don't have a truth embargo. We don't try to obfuscate anything. If we don't know, we just don't know. And if we speculate, we just speculate. But let's be honest. Most sports and sports participants, the athletes, the talent, are celebrated mostly based on how much money they can generate for individuals that are out here gambling. And everybody's gambling, man. You'd be surprised. So this is why it's so excruciating when you place your wager and it don't come through, but come close. Or you know that Zion, for instance, when Zion was healthy playing with the Pelicans, he was averaging at least like 27, 8, and 3. So any given night, you know Zion can get you 27 points. It was so easy for him. He just can walk right out of bed, don't even put his slippers on, walk barefoot to the court and give you 27 points. But the rebounds, that's a different question. The assists and playmaking, that's a different question. And you bet on Zion every night based on his average and based on his that word just escaped me. You can bet on Zion based on his average and based on his opponents in matchups. And you can almost guarantee he's going to get 25 plus. And if you put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a rack on Zion player performance, you winning, dude. And then all of a sudden he don't play, and now you're frustrated because you're checking the papers, you're looking at the entry list, and this dude is still not playing. And now I got to take a chance on betting on somebody else that might not get it there. Just like Jokic, you can bet Jokic's player performance practically every single night. He's going to get you somewhere around a triple double. You know this. This is what made Russell Westbrook such a fan favorite, especially in player performance, because he averaged that for 3 years. You can pencil him in for a triple double. And if you don't want the triple double, a double double definitely for sure. And so this is how players become other people's favorite players. And because I'm making money, I don't like him. I might not like him as an individual. I'm just looking at him as a tool or a resource to add revenue stream to my fortune. And if he's not available, it's like a guy not showing up to work. You waiting on him. You looking at the clock like, when this guy going to check in to come to work, man? I'm running a business here. And he don't ever come to work. You're going to get frustrated. So you can't fire Zion. You can't fire these players that average is high in good games. You know what I'm saying? So only thing you can do is get frustrated because you can't put the money on them, and you go put money on somebody else, and now somebody else fails you when Zion was bringing you money every single game because he was young, he was ferocious, and he looked forward every night to crush somebody. What better player that you could put money on that has that type of attitude? Devin Booker. You see where I'm going with this. So all he has to do is get back on the court, be healthy, and keep them high numbers up. People forget all about your off-court issues. They'll tell you, mind your business. Leave that young man alone. And it's not so much because of his welfare, but because of his health and how he has created a revenue stream for me. I can put my money down on Zion early in the day and go to sleep. If it's a late game, wake up, go get my money. Because I know he delivered. Now, is that a soft revenue stream? I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can put your money down on somebody. It's Kevin Durant in his heyday. You can put your money on Kevin Durant in his heyday, and you know you're going to get 28. Easy money. Easy Mo Sniper. And this is what has the game revolved to. So they taking basically the human element out, and this is why fans can scoliate, deprecate, give you bad words, racial epithets, hateful, disparaging comments, remarks. basically because the human element of the soul of a player has basically been eliminated, and they just become a number. How many points you can get on my fantasy team? Can you cover the spread? Can you hit your player performance mark? And that's devastating, to be honest with you. But it's fun if you can control yourself. But if you can't control yourself and you're looking for these players to bring you some semblance of wealth, then I think you the problem and not the player. Because these players are human, even though a lot of fans try to dehumanize them. And this is the cause of fans and players' interaction negatively when they're out there on that court. Because those people that sit in those front rows that have access to some of these players betting big money. I'm talking about tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars on player performance and other things. And they get in there, they get drunk, they get all the alcohol that the arena can provide them, and then they scream out their bloody intentions when the player is not playing up to par, or if he's killing your team and you bet on your team to cover, and this player is just demolishing you. These people lose control, come unglued at the seams, and start demonizing and dehumanizing these players. This is where it comes from. The NBA's not going to talk about it, but you have to be there to hear it. You have to be close enough down to hear the interactions. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't no dialogue. Very rare you get dialogue. Mostly it's diatribe towards these players. You know what I'm saying? They get on the free throw line, shoot their free throws. And it's part of the allure. It's part of the ambience. But some players, some fans, if you listen clear, you can tell who's betting, who's not. You can tell who's just there, just having a good time from those who are actually putting wager down. Because the visceral is crazy. Shout out to Flight Sports TV, the machine. Please hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. And hit that notification bell so you won't miss one iota of an exuberant experience. Yes, Joey, that is messed up. But that's the nature, and that's why they get paid so much. And listen, I know basketball players. Currently, I don't know any basketball players. I think the last basketball player that I knew that played was Ryan Hollins. I know y'all are familiar with Ryan Hollins, went to UCLA, played with Cleveland, played with LeBron. And a lot of these players will tell you that you get that meeting before the game. It's called orientation. And when you go in these hostile environments, they warn you. Keep your composure, players. Keep your composure. The camera's on. This is a camera game, nationally televised. And they expect you to keep your composure regardless of what the fans are out there saying. Because we're paying you to perform. We're paying you to perform in these hostile environments. That's why you get millions of dollars. You're getting paid more than your teacher ever would get paid. And that was your teacher. You're getting paid more than the coaches ever get paid. And that is your coach. That is a person who imparts knowledge, information, and direction while you out there on that court to help you to succeed. And you get paid more than them because you're the talent, you're the resource. And they tell you. They come in here. These are the referees that's refereeing. Some of you guys are familiar with their, how they approach the game. So don't be out here badgering the referees. But even though they do it still, it's the heat of the moment. But they still give you that prep talk. And then they leave out. And then your coach give you your last rally or whatever you want to call it to rile you up, and you go out there and play. But you're always forewarned. And this is why they find you. You've already been forewarned. and you still did it. So here go the fine. And sometimes you get fined by the NBA and your team. And sometimes you don't get fined by the NBA, but your team might fine you as detrimental to the team based on your behavior out there on the court. But those don't get talked about in the public. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just hoping that Zion come out of this whirlwind of negative press and get back to being that dynamic player on the court and winning games. Because I believe he didn't commit no crime. I know the act was egregious, or the actions was egregious. He did not handle this in the best of manner. Because when you get yourself in this kind of situation, you got to pay your way out. If you ain't paying your way out, this is what happens. And let me tell you something, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me address this. Let me address this. We do not know for certain if there's a man behind some of these women that Zion interacted with. Let me say that again. The streets is vicious. We know there's calamities in these streets. And Zion is a perfect example of a calamity in these streets. When you're making that exorbitant amount of money, and it's fair because he deserved it, he negotiated, and both parties agreed that he was worth what he's getting. And Purple Baby talked about this, and like I said, we all agree with you, Purple Baby, that women go out and Google these guys and find out their network and position themselves to interact with them. But a lot of times, Purple Baby, these women are sent. Did you guys just hear what I just said? A lot of times, these women are sent. They know, the guys know where these players be. Some of them are ex-basketball players, but they didn't make it to the height. But they're charming, they're handsome, and they still have their way with women. And they know where these guys be in various cities because they was a part of that fraternity. But now they're not. And they will send women at you. If they don't do it themselves, they might have a partner that's already in the mix of that kind of behavior and have a flock of women in his stable. And he will send some of his best. And some of them is like fish to bait. Some of them might take a little longer to convince the person of their trust. But all along, just like agents for law enforcement will send women up under certain cliques just to get vital information. And sometimes they compromise their dignity in doing it. In the case of Zion, these women are just laying in the path like hungry hyenas. He's not familiar with the traps that are out there because everybody's not dealing drugs. Everybody is not running identification scams. Everybody is not having some type of internet scam or YouTube scam. Join me. I can make you this. I can give you that. Some people are so good with their conversations. And these women are pretty and vulnerable. And when I mean vulnerable, not because they're women, because you got some tough women, you got studs out there, so you got tough women. But vulnerable meaning that their family background is really not up to par. Moms could be on crack, dad could be on crack, dad could be in prison for, harming people or some type of criminal activity. And mom could just be out chasing men. And as that woman grows up, even though she's pretty, even though she's sexy, she grows up with a warped mentality towards life and men in general. That's what I mean by vulnerable. And then somebody can whisper sweet nothings in their ear and have them do things that they probably wouldn't do if they probably grew up in a sound family household because they have choices. See, I'm gonna say it like this: my mama, my mother's is Native American and black. I'm black, but she was Native American and black. You could see it as visible on her, and she used to say, "Some people live life with love, and some people live life to survive." I'm raising you guys with love. I didn't really understand all that shit at the time. I was like, okay, mom, whatever. Because my mother used to always drop good jewels on us. I ain't gonna lie, she's have some good ones. So okay. But as I got older and became a parent at a young age, it started to unfold what she meant by that. So I didn't want my daughter to be raised on survival mode. I wanted her to be raised with love. And some of these women out here are raised on survival mode and they get caught up in the rapture of charming men and they want to be loved. And a lot of these charming men have them do things to prove their love and loyalty. And these things are unbecoming of a wholesome woman. And then these are the women that can get out here and do what they do and encapsulate oh shit, my tongue tied. Unsuspecting young men with an enormous amount of money. Because money don't make you smart. Money is only a tool of enhancement to whoever and whatever you are. Always remember that. And put these women up under these dudes, suck them in and suck them dry. Because if these women were not motivated by greed and passion to demolish a young man like Zion, they would talk to him in private and be like, you know what? We can call it quits, but you're gonna have to pay to get me away from you. That's not a good thing, but but at least I'm not putting your stuff out there in the streets. So since Zion probably didn't want to continue paying, but maybe wanted to pay a one-time payment and that's it, they wasn't going for that. So two wrongs don't make a right. But at the same time, Zion knew he had to pay his way out of the situation. And was he willing to pay? Or was the sum total of the amount was too large? And he couldn't accept that because whatever that one is given, another one is given as well. And it might not be as pricey. So he found himself in a perplexing situation according to him. And the information that he had in his head, how to pursue that situation. And he just got caught up. And it seemed like, to me, as I looked more and more to it, because I had no idea what was going on. I think somebody brought it to my attention. And then I started looking into it, a little more. And I was like, oh, man, this looked like one of those classic examples of somebody sending some females at this dude. It might not be one person. It might be several persons. in whatever city that he was going to, seeing these women, those women was tethered to a dude. That's what I'm believing this because they pushing too hard and they pushing without mercy. You know what I'm saying? And most women, not all, but most, they get caught up in that situation, will take a one-time payment and go away. So she, by her not going away, is because not only do she got to get paid, but he has to get paid as well. And it probably didn't seem enough for the both of them, according to the acts that were committed. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times the dude could be the one greedy and keep saying, do this to him, do this to him. You know, we don't want that. Nah, you gotta come with more than that. And then foil the whole plan, the whole plot based on greed. It can foil. Instead of just taking a one-time payment and run off into the sunset, nah, it could be somebody got a key in her back. That's what we used to say. Man, somebody got a key in her back. Because that ain't the way nature planned it. I don't understand it. And it's overwhelming to Zion. Even though a stepfather says, I stand by my son. Of course you stand by your son. Because most dads who have sons want their sons to be heterosexual and want them to be active. You follow what I'm saying? Like, go ahead, son. Knock them down. Build up your body count. And then once you get filled and tired of your purging, find you a good wholesome girl, settle down, because you done sold your royal oats. You done got it out your system. And that's what a lot of young African Americans go through. You know, they pops want them to, you know, just get it out of your system, man. We know what's there. Get it out your system. So when you meet a woman that you really feel tied to and tethered to, and you want to share your heart with her, it's just something you just can't explain how you feel about this woman. At least you got all that dirty stuff out your system, and you can focus on her and having a good, decent life. But if you don't get that dirty stuff out your system, and you try to fake like you don't get down like that, it's gonna come back to bite you. You can't tell me looking at Zion. You cannot tell me looking at Zion that he didn't go to church, that he wasn't reared a church, a choir boy. Maybe not a choir boy, but you know, probably when he was little, we all get up there and get in the church choir, and you know, mom, you know, cheer you on, or grandma cheer you on, and stuff like that. When you get a certain age, sometimes you want to, you know, bite back on it and buck the church thing. But it looks like he's been going to church all through high school. And everything is not lovey-dovey outside of those church walls, that brick and mortar that holds up that building. Everything is not, you know, everything is not dandy. It's a lot of foulness going on. There's a lot of scandal going on. There's a lot of integrity or lack of integrity going on. And sometimes you just have to see it for yourself, regardless of mom and pops telling you what lies ahead, that there will be days like this. And now he's just going through the whirlwind. Just a nice, fluffy guy with the ladies, but he is dangerous on that damn court. He's trying to break your wrist if you go up and try to defend one of his dunks. He's going to take your arm off. That's how you know he's a psychopath. Look at his eyes. The man is on a mission to destroy you. Look at Scoot eyes. He's on a mission to destroy you. Look at Lamelo eyes. If you look at Scoot framework of his face, it looks Neanderthal-esque. You look at Lamelo in the frame of his face. You see how deep those eyes set into his eye socket. Same as Scoot. Two dangerous, ferocious maniacs on the court. You would never think it until you see them face to face and you see how vicious they are with that basketball, trying to destroy their enemies. That's how they see them on the court. Their enemies. Once the clock reaches 0, then it's a whole nother ball game. They come out of that trance. But when that tip off and that ball hit the ground for the very first time in that game, in that time span of 48 minutes, these guys are maniacs. Maniacal maniacs. Zion, same way when healthy. So I'm not surprised that the New Orleans Pelicans are interested in the number 2 pick. Why wouldn't they be? Why wouldn't they be? And you don't hear Brandon Miller's name nowhere. And I told Flight, that name going to phase out when they come closer and closer to the draft. That's just hype because Victor Wembanyama is in a whole nother class by himself. Scoot is actually in the class by himself. And then Brandon Miller on down, that's another class. So you got 3 tiers of class in this NBA draft. And Victor Wembanyama is head and shoulders above the fray. Scoot Henderson is nipping at his heels because if Victor Wembanyama was not the first pick in this draft, it would definitely be Scoot, unquestionably, no doubt. Scoot Henderson come with deleterious intent. He's not here for play. And that will be a perfect running mate for Lamelo if they draft the rookie. Because he's going to play upscale basketball and he's going to play fast-paced basketball. Something that Lamelo haven't played in a long time. It's a continuous, fast-paced game. And you're going to see, you think he has IQ now? Wait until he speeds that game up. And the type of decisions he makes at that high velocity speed. It will be almost instantaneous success. Because other players are not used to playing at that velocity. That rapidness. For elongated minutes. I'm quite sure he is dying to have Scoot play next to him. Because Scoot is going to run because that's the apex of Scoot game right now. Now, when he get a little older, then, it could change. And he can have a variance to his game. But right now, his game is up and down that court like a gazelle. And that's what Lamelo is. Up and down that court like a gazelle. Passing that ball, whipping the ball, pulling up the shots. And that's his rhythm. We see in Lamelo an all-star playing at 50% rate of speed. And he still made all-star. When he speeds it up, and be inside his own bubble, and you got Scoot as his running mate, running up and down the court because that's his strong part of his game, it's going to be fantastical. I already know it. I already see it because when his dad talked about the speed of the game, I'm talking about the big baller in Seth LeVar, when he talked about the speed of the game and how his boys were supreme in operating it. And you guys not you guys, but his antagonists will say, "Oh man, it's the NBA. It's different." Dude, Lamelo was in a draft, and when Lamelo was in the draft, there were guys practically his age, a little bit, and a little older, so they're around the same ballpark. When Jello didn't get drafted, but the same goes for him. Lonzo in his draft, there was guys practically his age or maybe a little older, but around the same ballpark. So they are still playing with the guys they played in high school, but they're just older now. That's all. If you look at LaMelo high school rankings, which was poor according to the ESPN and all those people that was ranking LaMelo because he went overseas and played in Lithuania and then the JBA, so they kind of downgraded LaMelo. It wasn't until he went to Spire that he even got back on the top 100 list. But those guys that he played with, some of them are in the league and some of them are not. Same with Jello. Same with Lonzo. So just because they're pros and they're playing in the NBA doesn't take away that these are the same group of guys they played with coming up the ranks and down the pipeline. Same guys. Now, the older guys, they definitely don't want to play fastball. We've seen that because they will lose the war of attrition. And this is why Scoot represents a portion of that fast ball basketball that the NBA is trying to stave off until some of their older superstars leave, i.e., LeBron, KD, Chris Paul. Once those guys are gone, then the NBA will have to shift to the paradigm of speed basketball. Watch and see what I'm talking about. They're trying to save their stars. They're trying to save face. Uh-huh. Giannis looked like who's that flight?
No, that's me, Joey.
Oh, Joey. Oh, you back? What's going on, Joey?
Yes, I'm at work. I just finished. That's why they hop on the stream earlier.
Gemini, what's
Busy
going
day.
on, Gemini? Salute to Gemini 504.
Man, this is the new age basketball league, man. It's full of wings. The guards is done. The short guards is done, man. I gotta realize it. It's fading out. Look at this draft. Nothing but wings in the lottery. 4, 6, 7 guards. The Thompson twins. Shit. I don't know where school fall, man, because the Rockets want Thompson. If you look at the reports, they're high on Thompson right now.
Okay,
So
before you go there, hold on one second. What about Bryce McGowan? Wasn't he a tall guard?
yeah, he like what 6'6", 6'7"?
Yep. Yep. But I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I'm saying.
he ain't showed much.
Yeah,
So
but
just
Cole,
because you're
that's why
tall,
he didn't really
just
get the
because you're
chance to
tall and play
show much.
guard, that don't mean that you're gonna bust the doors down.
That's where it
That's all I'm
shifted
saying.
to. Like, look at the Nuggets. Look at the Nuggets. Look at the Nuggets. Look at the Nuggets. They literally running
But
at least 6'10" and up in the
but
front court.
the Nuggets was a replica of the Lakers. Remember the Lakers of 2020? So the Nuggets went for
Yeah.
height because that's who beat them. Remember, the Lakers beat them in the bubble in the Western Conference Final based on the Lakers had too much height, and Jokic couldn't deal with all of them. So they put their team like that. They just had to get healthy, and it was just a replication of that, but a younger version. You know what I'm saying? A younger version of that. And at the same time, Jokic came into his own. I mean, look what he done. Look what
But
Jokic done this
I think
season.
I think they overhyping him too much though. He's gonna fall on his face. I'm telling you, like they hyping
But
him too
it doesn't
much.
matter if he falls on his face. He already got over the hump.
Wait, so you think he's the best NBA player right now in the league? You really think that?
Listen.
There's no way you
To
think that.
me, if you really want, I think Joel Embiid is. That's if I was a pickup player with his youth and all of his athleticism and his domination, I would say Joel Embiid is really the best player in the NBA. I just think he's being restricted playing up under Doc Rivers, um, because Doc Rivers want to kind of pigeonhole Joel Embiid. A lot of stuff that Joel Embiid do is out of the parameters of Doc Rivers, and I think that's the reason why Doc Rivers was let go is because when he told the ownership, "Trust me, I know what I'm doing. I can get the best out of Joel Embiid and get us deep into the playoffs." And he failed in his mission. He didn't fail miserably, but he failed in his mission. And by that summation, Doc Rivers had to be let go because he couldn't fulfill his promise. Now, if Nick Nurse, I think Nick Nurse, their new coach, right? Now, if Nick Nurse
Yeah,
allow,
Nick Nurse is the new coach.
yes,
Nick Nurse is
so
the new
he's a
coach.
championship coach. So if Nick Nurse allowed Joel Embiid to really be Joel Embiid, I think Joel Embiid will stop falling on the ground and acting like he's hurt, and every time he hits the ground, you don't know he's going to get back up because he was trying to send a message to Doc Rivers. See, you keep playing me like this, like you know how players do. I don't know if you play basketball sometimes, and a coach try to make you do something you really don't want to do, and then when
Yeah, I
something
play
happens,
football. I play
oh, same
football.
thing
I
in
play
football.
football with
Same
Joel
thing in
Embiid.
football to some degree, but football is more of a contact sport. But like
Yeah,
the coach puts you in a zone, you want to run man, and then you don't get you don't get to your zone coverage at a timely manner, and, and a big play goes. And you be like, see, coach, that's why I want to take a man to man. That's why I want to take a man to man. You follow what I'm saying? But that
yeah,
wouldn't happen. You would tell your coach that. And Joel Embiid is like that with Doc. But Doc is a stubborn coach. Doc is a
yeah. He
champion.
definitely.
Joel Embiid has never been a champion. So Doc had that hanging over that organization. I'm a champion coach. I know what it takes. I had Kevin Garnett. I had, all these players, and I know what to do with them. But
Okay, okay,
Joel
so
Embiid is
everybody.
a different monster. If see, because Joel Embiid do it all.
Nah, I
Jokic is
think yeah,
limited.
he does do it though. He does.
Yeah,
He
Jokic is
does.
limited because his defense is really not there. Even though he's tall, he can just put his hands in the air and he can block shorter people's shots. But Jokic, is heavier than a lot of the centers that's in the league. You know what I'm saying? With his weight, he's heavier, and he know how to manipulate from his shoulders to his fingertips. But Joel
Mm.
Embiid, I think, is taller than Jokic.
But
I
Dex,
think
both of the players got the same problem. Both of the players you're mentioning right now actually have the same problem, and and
Explain.
and it is more of indeed Embiid when he came in, he was told by the medical staff that he needed to cut at least 15 to 20 pounds to be able to be more mobile. Jokic was told the same thing as far as the NBA, but the international game is different. He can do whatever he want with his body type over there. Same thing with Luca. They can do whatever they want internationally, but when it came to the NBA standards, they was told to cut weight. If Jokic cut weight, and I'm gonna say this because he is the spitting image of Larry Bird with no back problem, then I would basically give him The I would literally give him the best player in the NBA, and he could be the next great white hope for the NBA. Then I will give that to him. I will honestly tell you that. When
Wait.
it co-
Slow down, Gemini. You saying that Jokic is the best player in the NBA?
if he cut down the weight, yes, I could give him that.
But isn't
No,
the best player in the NBA a two-way player? Wouldn't that start there first?
with him cutting down the weight, then he'll be able to jump and be more mobile. He's not mobile now. The same thing with Embiid. Embiid is not as mobile or as nimble as he could be.
But
If if
Embiid, okay,
Embiid getting older,
hold on.
man. Embiid getting
Embiid
older.
can take you off the dribble.
and Embiid can take most people off of the dribble, not off of that first step. It's off of the bump. It's not off of the first step, sir. It's off of the bump.
Embiid is a mix match for any big man in the league.
But
So
Like
see,
is he taller
Embiid's
than
but
Joker?
Embiid is a
Yes.
three-level scorer, right?
He, he
exactly.
Now,
he's a three level
Jokic is a
scorer,
kind of a
but with a
three-level
weight
scorer too.
problem.
But Embiid can actually shoot a mid-range. Jokic don't shoot no mid-range.
Joker has that within his toolbox, though. He showed that more international before he even came here.
I ain't never really seen him shoot the mid-range. I know I
I'm
seen him
saying
shoot some hooks.
we didn't
Yes,
see
he
Jokic go up
does.
against
He got
no
that little
big
set
man.
shot at the free throw line. But I'm talking about
Hey,
Embiid can shoot from the corner. He can shoot at the diagonal. He can shoot at the top of the key, and he can do it on both sides of the court.
but once again, I'm speaking about the weight problem. The weight problem has been his health issues. Could he
Mm.
be more nimble? Yes. Could Joker be more nimble? Yes. But they both would have to cut the weight, sir. That's all I'm saying. They, then I will give the main reason why the NBA is putting the marketing dollars behind Joker. And please don't get me wrong. Please don't think I have any type of problem with any other situation. He is the next great white hope for the NBA. They tried to give it to
I
Luca.
agree.
They saying
I
it didn't
agree.
work. So
They
now
try to get who?
they trying to put Joker, the next great white hope to of the NBA. They
But
tried to give it to Luca. It didn't
yeah,
work.
okay. I agree with that. I agree. They
So
did try to give it to Luca.
so at this juncture, the only thing that they're trying to do is keep the white fans engaged because they see, as far as numbers and turnout, we are the numbers and the turnout. But if Joker and Embiid lose at least 20 pounds, at least 20, then you will see a different part of their game. Embiid never wanted to do it because he was looking at the same thing that your boy was getting away with. Ben Simmons. He's saying Ben Simmons getting away with murder. He like, shoot, I'm gonna start playing on this team too. I'm gonna get away with my murder. If he can get away with his, I'm gonna get away with mine. Then the other thing is they playing Harris at the wrong position. Harris needs to be the small forward, not the power forward, because he plays like Bridges primarily with the Hornets. So but back to the original topic, when you talk about those two players, it's a weight problem. It's not that they cannot establish their dominance. Not that they will get their nimbleness back, but they would have to cut the weight. Now I'm not asking them Embiid to be skinny. I'm not asking Joker to be skinny. I'm asking them to be at a healthy, nimble weight. See what I'm getting at?
I still will put Giannis over both of them though, personally.
Giannis' problem is when he don't see the ball go in two times, he started extremely doubting himself. Not somewhat doubting himself, extremely doubting himself. That's what Giannis' overall problem is. Because he has the height of a power forward. We all can attest to that. But he has the body style of a small forward. He
Yeah.
he's a muscular. He's what you would want Kevin Durant to look like. I'll say it that way. He's what you want Kevin Durant to look like.
Giannis got so much potential. Shit.
He he
If he,
he, ha, he has potential after Corver helped him with his Jado.
yeah, he needed that. Shit. If he work on back to the basket moves, he would be unstoppable. Like he could conserve so much energy because he be fake going too hard out there sometimes.
Right, but I mean the only reason why he's playing power forward is because of the height. But he's actually a
Yeah,
small he's a small forward.
yeah, but
But
you think he'll be better at small forward? That's what you're saying?
yes,
Oh, nah, yeah, he would kill a lot of small forwards though. I'm not gonna lie, the small forwards in the league can't hang with him. He'll get a
defense,
lot of credit.
nimble, and lean body that Giannis has, Giannis would dominate a lot of small forwards. With the dimensions that Giannis have right now, he would kill a lot of small forwards. Kill them. I'm talking about carve them up worse than barbecue chicken. He would kill them. You're not going to try to shoot over him. You're going to pass the ball. If you see him running behind you on a fast break, that's going to make you alter your shot. You're going to alter your shot just because of his height. Remember, we didn't notice Giannis until Giannis became one of the fast break kings. Think about it now.
Hello?
When when Giannis was skinny and everything else, we did not care about what Giannis' game was. When
Mhm.
Giannis became one of the fast break kings, then we started noticing Giannis. Then
Uh,
Culver came there as a free agent, helped him with his shot. Then his shot got better. Then he started rebounding more. He was already a great help defender. Cause that's who was saving Brooke Lopez a lot of the times.
mhm.
So what did they do? They moved him from small forward to power forward,
For
and they moved Middleton from shooting guard to small forward. But then Middleton started getting hurt.
once you went to small
But
forward,
to
right?
but to be honest, how far have within the last couple of years? How far have the MVP went within the playoffs?
Wait, say that again. I didn't hear you.
Within the last 4 years, how far have the MVP of the regular season within the playoffs?
Not a lot.
They
Not a
haven't
lot.
went far at all.
Yeah.
But it's been the same issues though. It's either weight or is not having nimbleness. So they're not nimble and they don't want to cut down on weight so they'll be able to perform in the long run. And trust me, I like in B um game because he's a taller dream to me. Because that's who he trains with. He trains with Dream a lot of times in the off season. So he's a taller Dream, but he does not want to cut down the weight. I mean, he came from a situation where he wasn't eating. I give y'all that. Now he's able to eat, but he doesn't want to put in the full dimensions of the work. Joker's the same issue. Joker don't work out. Joker
Yeah,
don't work out
yeah,
like he should.
he definitely don't. This shit.
Joker tell everybody, I care more about my horse ranch than I care about basketball. I made my money overseas already.
Shit. He said he lost his final MVP trophy, I think, or Western Conference MVP trophy, some shit like that. Shit.
Do I think he should lose it? Is your question?
Nah, he said that he lost it, like he misplaced it. He can't find it.
Yeah,
Like,
because he don't care.
like that shit crazy.
I'm not being funny when I say this. Listen to these players' words. If you listen to it out their own mouth, they're telling you they're not putting in the work.
Yeah, they don't care like that no more. They don't care like that. Well, shit, the money's guaranteed to them for the most part, so they don't really gotta go hard, you know?
Okay, but see, then that screws it up for us as fans because we really thinking they're working and doing what they need to do. Like, okay, I'll, I'm gonna throw I'm gonna throw two people within this, and one of them you'll never think of. Remember Powell, who was a Raptor? Now he's a Clipper.
Say
Powell,
that. Who?
Powell, Powell.
Oh yeah,
Powell.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Power.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Norman Powell.
Okay, he puts in so much work on the off season. Ever since his second year in the NBA, that's why he's been able to stay healthy. LBJ has puts in enough work, plus make sure his chef is there, so he has been able to stay consistent for 20 seasons. Eh, Hell, I'll add one more. Draymond Green even took it from LeBron off of finally putting in the work and getting a chef and keeping his weight down so he can stay active. Even though his game is kind of funny and fickle, I'll give it that. But if you look at it, look at his age and look at how he's still able to go hard as he goes.
It's all on the floor.
Huh?
He leave it all on the floor. Like
Okay.
he still be going hard. Yeah.
Now after the games, look at Joker, look at Embiid. It's not left on the floor, sir.
Well, honestly, with Joker, I don't think he's the right person to even like brand the best player in the league anyway, because his personality doesn't show like he really cares. But Embiid not pushing it either because he's not really working hard. Like you said, he's not working out. He's not trying to lose the pounds, get faster. Because if he did, he will be faster than every big man if he was
Yeah,
to drop some pounds.
he would. He honestly would. And that hands down, I stand 10 toes deep on. He will be
Yeah.
one of the fastest over 7 footers in the league. Because even with the weight now, he runs the floor. So just think if you had a lighter, stronger MB.
Exactly. And he could shoot. See, he could shoot that. He could shoot that rock. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
I'm not doubting his game. But
Yeah.
but then when we talk about Joker, you're talking about honestly, if you look at his tape, if you look at Joker tape and then look at Larry Bird tape pre back injury, no, notice what I just said, pre back injury, it's the same.
Yeah. Basil, Joker doesn't even look like he work out like that, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think that's all natural talent and just working on his footwork and shit. Like
Yeah,
I don't even.
he doesn't work out.
You can tell he doesn't work out. He doesn't even got a rip on him. Nothing.
Remember when they went to bring him the MVP trophy? Remember that?
I didn't watch the end of the finals like that. Like I was
No, no,
tuning
no, no,
into
no, no.
what?
Not this year.
Oh,
Last year and the year before.
no,
He
I
was
didn't
on
tune in.
his horse farm.
What happened?
He,
What happened?
both times he was on his horse farm,
Oh
and you
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
tell
And,
that
and they,
man
they
didn't
they
work out
FaceTimed him,
a
right?
day.
They video
Yeah,
chatted him, right? Yeah,
the
yeah. That's
the first
crazy.
time they FaceTimed him, the first time they FaceTimed him, the second time they actually flew it out there, and you
That's
can
sad.
tell he did not work out one day. You can tell he did not work out one day.
So hold on. Let me ask you this then. So you think that Jokic is the best player right now in the league? Like they have him over Giannis and KD and Curry and LeBron.
He's over LeBron at this point because of durability. He's over
Over LeBron for
Giannis
what?
d- because of durability. LeBron body for the time finally is catching up with LeBron.
I know, but
And
I don't
when you
think
say
so.
over LeBron,
No,
like in what nature?
over durability, over being able to be on the floor.
And who is this?
Joker.
He's over LeBron.
As
he's
far
not
as
over LeBron.
durability, as far as durability, LeBron been having a foot problem since the what I want to say the first 25% of the season. I noticed that in it back.
But that's injury, okay. But when you say over LeBron, like
Yeah,
in
I'm
what
saying
fanfare
durability. No,
or
I'm
he's
saying
better?
durability. No, durability. I'm
Uh,
saying I've never changed my word. Durability.
oh, okay.
As far as everything else, I say not because Joker had a real team built around him. He had a very athletic four. He had a, a semi-athletic small. He had a very athletic point guard. Shooting guard was just defense based. So he had what he needed around him. Everybody think Denver is really built like that. No, Denver has what they need for a long stretch, not a short
Well, I
stretch.
think they were just finally healthy, because you got to remember, Gemini, is that Denver was in the Western Conference Finals in 2020, and then
Yeah,
after that they got hurt. So for 2 years, Jokic been by himself basically, and those are 2 years that he won MVP. And soon as they
right,
got healthy, Jokic didn't win MVP because his help, his reinforcement has arrived.
right.
And when
But
you saw them healthy and mature, because you got to remember they was healthy, but they was immature when they played the Lakers. This time they was healthy but mature, and you saw what they did to the Lakers. They smoked them.
right, but then you also went and got Jeff Green, one of the best six men to ever play on 16 teams. I mean, it's it they went and got other pieces for
Yeah, they
that
did.
core. So, but if you, I'm talking about the starting five
They
only.
don't
That
forget Aaron Gordon. Also, they went and got him too.
yeah. So when you look at this, when Gordon was with the Magic didn't use him right. The Magic even told him he'll only be known in the NBA as a dunker, not even a rebounder. He has proved everybody wrong since the day he stepped into the NBA because he is a rebounder. His second jump is phenomenal. It's still one of the top 10 best second jumps. So I mean, Denver had what they needed around Joker. So now the NBA sees that, and you don't think they're going to put the marketing dollars behind him to push him over the hump? Remember,
you can't
they
market
tried to
them.
give it to Luca. I mean, but they can because with us, we have to do 3 times better. The other skin complexion don't, and I don't have no problem with the other skin complexion for the ones who do right by us. But you literally have to think. Denver has a totally different mindset. I was actually stationed out there, so I know their mindset.
Are
They
you
got a
in Colorado Springs?
home
Yeah,
office.
I was stationed at Fort Carson,
Oh, okay.
and
That's
then
what's
I
up.
stayed in Aurora, and used to drive back
Aurora,
and
yeah,
forth
I know about Aurora.
every
I got
day.
people up there in Aurora.
Yeah, so
They're military too. They're military family too.
I mean, Denver fan base is crazy. But the thing about it is, as soon as they get one good Caucasian player, they go, bro. You might as well throw a parade for that player. It is gonna be worse than if that player was in Boston. They gonna celebrate him. And you
They
add
they,
two
they need something to celebrate too,
MVPs.
right?
That
First of all, let me
both.
let me let me hold on one second. Let me hold on one second. Let me big up everybody that's rocking with Flight Sports TV, the machine. We appreciate you riding out with us, all you night riders, and everybody that's out there that's of the essential worker syndrome. We definitely appreciate you. And wherever you're at, all anywhere in this world, we want you to be safe. We want you to have prosperity. We want you to have longevity in all your successful endeavors for rocking out with Flight Sports TV and keeping your eyes open. Be safe out there and make sure you do not be distracted.
Please subscribe to Flight Sports TV, hit the like button, and leave a comment.
Okay, Gemini.
Um, Basil Joker doesn't. He honestly doesn't work out, Doc. And that's been one of the overall concerns.
The knocks.
Trust, huh?
That's one of the knocks against him.
Yeah, that's the huge knock against him. Running up and down a basketball court is one thing, but we all know that weight room for more endurance, more and everything helps more. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's not in that average basketball shape. I do attest to average basketball shape. I'm saying the same thing about him that I'm saying about Embiid also. If they drop weight just a tad bit, you will see how far the game will go. Then they will peak out. You haven't seen neither one of their peak at this point. Joker or Embiid. They could retire today or tomorrow. And we could not say as fans that we actually seen their peaks, sir. That's the only thing that I'm saying. He has 2 MVPs. I have no beef with that. Shaq even got beat out for MVP over Nash, where I felt Shaq got it. So I mean, I don't have a problem with Joker having 2 MVPs. What I'm saying is he hasn't peaked out as a basketball player. And I love that he's a family man. I love that he care about his horses. He has not peaked out as a basketball player. That's it.
I think Murray should have got that Finals MVP, man. If you're really looking at it, nobody talking about it. Teston just
N-
said it.
no, he didn't earn it because of all the triple doubles that Joker was putting up. So no.
Look who was guarding him. He had a 6'8" Bam on him. 6'8"
It
Bam
it it
on that
it
Bam.
what matters at the end of the day,
But
women
what did he do to
men
AD though?
lie, men lie, women
Uh,
lie,
I
numbers
like that
don't.
one. I like that one. I like that one.
Yeah, but what he did to AD impressed me. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought AD like K and T radio will slow Joker down, but it only enhanced Joker by the presence of AD, and Lakers
Right.
end up getting swept.
Yeah, that shit is sad, man. Cause
I mean, I mean, me personally,
AD gotta like something gotta give up, man. Like LeBron can't keep
no.
carrying that shit, man. How you
AD need to get in shape. You can tell AD is not in shape.
see
I'm
AD?
I'm not just pointing out MB, Joker. I'll point out anybody who's not in shape.
Ah,
I
man.
mean, I'm an equal opportunist. Bust the gun at him. I'm not just gonna point out one side, don't point out the other side. I'm the one of the only people on this panel, and don't get me wrong. Dex can attest to this. I don't have a team. I like players. So when I track players, I don't track what the team is doing. I track the actual player, what that player is doing, what that player brings to the game. I don't worry about like with the Pelicans, prime example, Zion. Before the topic even came up about Zion, I brought up how my issue with Duke players is they do not stay healthy. They're good players. Some of them are dominating players, but longevity, they get hurt so quick to where either they're going under the knife or they went from a starter to the bench player. Then they're rebuilding their whole career, and that's the only problem I have with Duke players. They're not Ford tough or Chevy strong, however you want to say it. I mean, I don't get that from a Duke player. So
They play too much basketball, man. Like their
no,
body is
no,
too much wear and tear in their body. I think.
nah, that's giving them an excuse.
What you
Okay,
mean?
RJ Barrett. I'm gonna use RJ. I'm definitely gonna use RJ prime example. When the Knicks drafted RJ was supposed to be the next version. Really, they was talking about using him as a shooting guard rather than a small forward. So they had him instantly coming in as the next shooting guard of the decade. That's what they're marking him as, right? Now think about it. LA and Miami are the two hardest places to play because the fan base is going to hold you to what the media says all the time, right? Regardless of it, because and I'm sorry, no, New York and LA. So,
Yo, we about to get up out of here and pull back up tomorrow.
all right,
Peace and love, everybody, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.